everyone.
Hi to everyone.
Sorry for the short delay. Hopefully it was a short delay.
Yeah, what time is it? It's 11-minute delay.
11-minute delay. We were adjusting some lighting, and as you can probably tell, it's perfect.
It's better than it was. You're still, you're I didn't realize how glowy you were.
I pressed Team Fortress 2.
I guess we're playing Team
Fortress. Get your Team Fortress skills going.
That sounds like the worst, like the worst game for me to play. Like I'd probably be terrible at it.
Yeah, hold on one moment. Let me make sure we all live and everything's working fine. It's my Christopher Walken. See, it came out organically there.
Yeah, because I'm here.
There you go. Did not mean to start Team Fortress 2. We are going to be playing. What game are we playing today? Oh, first, let's introduce you.
Sure.
To, the chat. Hold on. Chat test. Bam.
Chat test.
Quit. Team Fortress 2 is a good game, though. It's a good co-op game.
No, I'm not saying that it's a bad game. I'm just saying I'd be terrible at it.
Also, you wouldn't play Team Fortress 2 on the Xbox 360. I'd get reamed out for that. If everyone saw me like, what are you doing playing Team Fortress 2 on the Xbox 360? What's wrong with you? Are you moving the mic?
Yeah, because it looks like the cord is like my necklace or something.
So you are?
I'm Drunken Homemaker.
And in relation to me?
I'm stuck with you. I am his wife.
That's a good way to put it.
You're stuck with me, I'm stuck with you. But yeah.
We celebrated our 5-year wedding anniversary, but we've been together 12 years.
Right? Is that math right? Yes. Honestly, when you've been together this long, you just kind of lose track of everything, and you're just like, we've been together a long time. Now people ask us, and we're like, it's been a while.
And Portal, right, was released in 2007.
Aww.
1 year after we met.
Yeah, 1 year after we started. No, 1 year after we started dating.
After we started dating, that's right, because we met earlier than that.
Yes, we
but
did.
Then we didn't start dating until 2006.
Yes, we did.
And you played Portal the first time with me.
Yes.
Obviously. Was Bella born by then? I think she was.
That sounds right.
I think she was born when
we were on Stillwell.
Yes. But I had played it previously before that, before I met you. I had played it on my own.
Had you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember getting it and a friend of mine coming over and trying to get me to play it. And I played it for a little bit, and then like a few weeks later, I played it on my own, and I was like, oh yeah, this game's great. This game's amazing. Do you remember the first time we played it?
I don't.
Me neither. I'm glad. I'm glad you're not the only one.
Okay, good.
So we're going to play through the game. I'm actually going to be holding the controller and playing, and you're going to be knitting.
I'm going to be knitting.
And providing commentary.
Yes. They
do have a developer commentary option, which I've never done.
We might need to do that.
Yeah, I think we should do that at some point. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do a brand new game. I don't think there's like a hard mode or anything like that. Like, what would be hard mode? Well, there's hard puzzles in this. Like, in this game, there's like a like special extra puzzles that you can do that are just challenge puzzles. But we're gonna start a brand new game, playing on the Xbox One version, backwards compatible. The orange box. And how much of this game do you think you remember? Do you remember a lot of it?
I think I do, because I remember being really, really impressed with the game, with GLaDOS's character, with the main protagonist's character. What? Shell. Okay, I can't believe I remember that. I'm impressed with myself that I remember that, because to me she was always like sort of like a nameless protagonist.
Again, welcome to the average.
Oh wait, you know what we're gonna put on? We're gonna put on subtitles.
Yes.
Because I feel like I can't play any game without subtitles.
Science Computer Aided Enrichment Center. We hope your brief detention in the relaxation vault has been a pleasant one.
And then normally, you know, when people are talking, we try not to talk over them as I'm doing now.
Before we start, however, keep in mind that although fun and learning are the primary goals of all enrichment center activities, serious injuries may occur. For your own safety and the safety of others, please refrain from...
Should I raise the volume?
Oh, hold on.
The portal
There's some
will
Spanish
open in
there.
3,
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
2, 1.
So this was like a big thing when this game came out.
Yeah.
I mean, so
If your brain wasn't like
yeah,
at this point, then you didn't know what was going on.
yeah, like
and bless your heart, right?
like right away, it's just like, wait a minute, like how many people just in the beginning are just like,
Wait a minute. Yeah. Right away. Right away, your mind should just melt inside of your brain.
There is a thing that they added later in the game. Many years after this game came out, they did an update, and I think this was to like hype up Portal 2, where they updated the game, and if you carry this throughout the different levels, it plays like different like frequencies, and then you have to decode it, sort of like Morse code, and there's like this whole big message.
What? How is this the first time hearing about
it's
this?
so crazy. It's so crazy. I never did it. But they added it. I mean, I don't know if they added it to this version, honestly, because this version didn't see a lot of updates like the PC version did. Yeah, it was just like super crazy and just one of those Easter egg things that I feel like you have to have a doctorate to kind of figure it out, and I'm always amazed.
A doctorate.
Yeah, you gotta have a doctorate to figure it out. And I'm always kind of amazed as to how
Excellent.
people
Please
figure it
proceed
out on
into
their
the
own.
chamber lock after completing each test. First, however, note the incandescent particle field across the exit. This aperture science material emancipation grill will vaporize any unauthorized equipment that passes through it. For instance, the aperture science weighted storage cube.
They do a very good job of building. Like, you know, I don't know what it's called, but like in Super Mario Brothers, how they sort of teach you like, this is a small jump, this is a big jump. You know, they do a very good job in this game of building slowly. Like, this is what you're doing here.
Yeah.
This is what you're doing here. And oh, you can't do the storage cube here, and you can't do this.
Yeah.
So
They don't like right away give you the portal gun and say, have at it. It's like, first place this cube on this button because you're going to be doing a lot of this. Yeah. And they also do a good job of building GLaDOS. She doesn't like right out the gate come out as this like super sarcastic antagonist.
Sassy. She's so sassy. I love her.
And you know, looking back on it, because how many times did we play this together? Did we only just play it once?
I feel like we played the original Portal once, but potentially we played the second one
A few
more
times?
than once.
Yeah.
Yeah. The second one is so good because you get to see GLaDOS play off of Wheatley. Because here you just have one person who speaks. Which I don't mind that she's a silent protagonist. I love that. That's part of the reason why I love this game. Is part of the reason why I love BioShock so much.
Half-Life 2?
Half-Life 2. Oh, this game's so good. So I don't hate that. But it is nice to sort of have, like, GLaDOS play off of someone.
The effects of prolonged exposure to the button are not part of this test.
And so I mean, obviously knowing what we know now with GLaDOS and her relationship to Shell, and so kind of one of the things I want to do tonight with playing this with you, because you know it's not technically a co-op game, but I feel like there's a lot of like the lore and the story that we really love.
Yes.
And like knowing what we know about GLaDOS and her relationship to Shell and the events of Portal, it's kind of interesting that this intro starts out kind of low key.
In the second game, it doesn't start like that.
It doesn't start at all. It doesn't start at all.
Which is it. I mean, I have to say, I think my favorite is the second game because it goes so. You can't have let me get my thoughts together.
Get your thoughts
My
together.
favorite game is the second game because it goes so deep.
That's your favorite game of all time?
No. Of the Portal series. Because it goes so deep, quite figuratively, you know,
yeah,
like actually,
literally.
they
Deeper
actually,
and deeper.
They go so deep, but also there's just so much there to unpack, and they really go into the lore a lot more in the second one.
Yes.
In the first, but the thing is, you can't have one without the other.
Well, you know what's crazy to think about? This wasn't made to be like a thing. Like this was made as sort of Valve has a very weird sort of
Oh yes,
like,
I remember this. Yeah.
where people just kind of work on stuff.
Yeah.
So people were kind of working on stuff, and actually the woman who developed this, I think her name was Kim Swift.
Is not part of any test protocol, but is an unintended side effect of the aperture science material emancipation grill, which may, in semi-rare cases, emancipate dental fillings, crowns, toothing
This is where we get the
and
first like few little tastes of
Yeah.
like what's in store for
Yeah.
us.
And the humor there, the fact
Yeah,
that like
yeah.
his explanations are so long-winded and kind of like,
and just long-winded is a good word, but also like just very wordy.
mm-hmm.
You are now in possession of the aperture science
There's an achievement for destroying all these cameras that I never got. I'm gonna also try to do that this
Yeah?
time
These
around. Yeah.
interdimensional gates have proven to be completely safe. The device, however, has not. Do not touch the operational end of the device. Do not look directly at the operational end of the device. Do not submerge the device in liquid, even partially. Most importantly, under no circumstances should
I love stuff like that.
Don't shoot the device at the moon. I think that's
to
what that
ensure
would
the
say.
safe
Really?
performance of
No,
all
well, you know, it's just a whole big
activities.
thing of
Do
like
not
how
destroy
Portal 2
vital
ended.
testing
It's like, how do we,
apparatus.
you know, figure out that climax? And then it's like, well, let's shoot it at the moon somehow.
Yeah.
So that's always become a thing, but I always feel like that has more to do with the lore of the world, of, you know, maybe what's to come further with Portal. But what was I saying?
You were saying about how they developed.
Yeah,
this
so
game.
Kim Swift and a few other people. What's up, Owen? This is Owen 134. Owen, yes, this is my wife, Drunken Homemaker.
Yes, that's my name.
My
My legal name.
That's your legal name.
My legal name.
This is her real name is Rosa.
You weren't supposed to say that.
I wasn't supposed to say
No.
that.
Now everyone's gonna
Now
look
everyone's
me
gonna know?
up. They're gonna know my
Don't you
seat.
have that on your Instagram?
They have my. They're gonna find out about that warrant for my arrest.
At Drunken Homemaker. You can follow her on Instagram and YouTube as well.
Yeah, barely.
We all start somewhere. But yes, we're playing Portal together for co-op connection. Normally the only guest I've had for co-op connection has been Kedem.
Yeah.
But he's out and about. He's out away this weekend. So I decided I'd bring my wife along, who dabbles a little bit in video games, but really, I feel like we really bond over playing them together, not necessarily each of us having a controller in our hand, just enjoying, games that we find captivating.
A co-op connection, if you will.
The co-op connection, yes. And this is what I talk about with co-op connection. I even discussed it with Kedem. Like, co-op connection doesn't necessarily have to be a co-op game. It's more so that experience, that shared experience that we have together.
And actually, we do have a lot. Like, our whole relationship is built on
Portals?
Portals. Is built on having those shared experiences with video games.
Yeah.
Because you sort of were the person that introduced me to video games largely because I grew up poor and we didn't have a system, and also my mom was like, my mom still to this day is like, video games are the devil. You know?
Yeah.
So
Can we show us your kids? They're asleep. They're not allowed to be up this late.
no. Because
They're
they're in bed right now.
They're in bed.
And actually, whenever you're doing stuff like this, they've been threatened that they can't come in here, and there's got to keep it down and stuff like that.
They're not ready for the Twitch life. But I do have plans. I do have plans to eventually, on my second YouTube channel, I do have plans to do some stuff with them. I have a lot of ideas about like family gaming and like gaming as a family, because I think that's very important when you have kids.
Yes.
So yeah, slowly, surely, you'll see the whole Be Better Gamer family be a presence on Twitch, on YouTube. But I want to.
It's better to be able to edit our kids
Yes,
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a more controlled environment on YouTube.
You're just setting yourself up for disaster if you put little kids on Twitch Live, I think.
She makes the oldest one makes a lot of really just inappropriate sexist jokes.
She's very political.
She's very political. She's got a lot of opinions.
And she's only 9, so she has no filter.
She's got no filter.
She's got no filter.
She just says whatever pops into her mind, and we're just like, you can't say stuff like that.
No, stop it. Oh, edit. Oh crap, I can't edit on Twitch.
Yeah, exactly.
What is your second channel called? It doesn't really have a name. It's just called Be Better Gamer. On my wrestling YouTube channel, you could find a link for it. Actually, you could find a link for it down in the channel description, in the description below on Twitch or on one of the little channel pages. I have one that says, wrestling, and that links you to my YouTube wrestling channel, and then my other one that just says YouTube, and that's to my regular YouTube channel. The only thing that's on it is our Let's Play of Inside.
That's true, yeah.
Which we have to do another Let's Play. We have to follow it up. We wanted to follow up with Limbo.
Yes. And, we want to do a lot more stuff.
Oh, yeah,
on
a lot of stuff together.
It's just that you've got a really strong, I remember I used to make fun of you about the whole, you really being very niche about the wrestling thing. But hey, you found your crowd, man.
Well, and Owen, Owen, he's named pretty much after because his name is
Who's
Owen.
that?
His name is Owen and Owen Hart and Kevin Owens.
Right.
But, he stops in when I'm playing
and of course, Owen Wilson.
And Owen Wilson, yes. Well, he stops in when I'm playing non-wrestling games as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it's just wrestling it's hard because wrestling's one of my biggest passions. Obviously, you love it when I talk about it.
Love it.
But yeah, finding that balance of wanting to do not just wrestling, but a little bit more, and eventually we'll get there. I think eventually I'll get there.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's there's plenty of time and to do that stuff now, which is nice, which there wasn't before, and now
exactly. Now I have time to do it because I'm here wasting away in front of the computer trying to get all this stuff done.
How do you feel about that?
So I think this one is the first puzzle where you have to kind of think outside of the box, where you have to do that, right? Drop it there, and then do this so you can land on that one. Let's see if I can get a better shot. You can also zoom in, can't you?
Yeah.
There you go.
You're asking the wrong person.
Bam! Now I'm here. And we have to get in there.
I have a very different experience of video games than you do, because for me it's like watching a movie. A very long, detailed movie.
Oh, there's 2 companion cubes. There you go. That's the secret.
That's what it was.
I was overthinking it. So this is something that I think is really funny, at least with me. I have a terrible memory.
Yes.
So even though I've played this game several times, because I've gotten a lot of the achievements for the game and just replayed it a few times, we'll probably beat it tonight in one sitting. But I don't remember a lot of the puzzles, even though I've played it over and over again.
Aren't something that most people do remember, though, I feel like, right?
I don't know. I feel like people have a much better memory than I do. So
when it comes to puzzles,
yeah, it's like
in general,
in both, general and when it comes to puzzles, and it's just. I can say that about any video game. I've played so many video games. I was even playing BioShock recently, a while back, and I've played that game dozens of times, and still there's parts of it where oh wait, how do I do this again? I don't know. I'm very much, when I play games, it's almost like watching a movie. It's like you try to be present for it, and then when you come back to it, you notice something different.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at it through a different lens.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm kind of looking at it a different lens because I'm looking at it since where really we've played Portal 2 so much together, and this is the first time we're coming back to play Portal 1, I'm really looking at how like different it is in scale, you know? Like it's so much smaller, it feels like.
It does. Like the fact that we're probably going to be able to beat it in one sitting is kind of crazy to me, because I feel like the second one is so...
Oh, it's so big. It's so expansive. So here we get introduced to like one of the few things that can kill you, these energy balls, which are, again, assets that were kind of taken over. Assets that were kind of taken over from Half-Life. You know, there's a weapon in the game that shoots things out like that. And, you know, like what we were talking before, how like this was a game that it wasn't meant to be a thing. They were just
sort of playing to see what they could do with this engine.
Yes, and what they could do with like portals and this whole concept and this idea. And the fact that it became such a hit instantly, it debuted on the Orange Box. It wasn't a standalone release.
Really?
It debuted in the Orange Box, which was a great deal.
Yeah, that is a really good, because it was like, what, $20?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was $20 when it came out. And even now you can get it for like $5. I mean, Team Fortress 2 is free now.
Alarms and flashing hazard lights have been found to agitate the high energy pellet and have therefore been disabled for your safety.
So yeah, it's just crazy how this game has evolved. And you know what we were talking about before with the story and where the story goes in part 2, they didn't think of any of that when they made Portal 1. Portal 1 was just made based like, let's see if we can make these puzzles really unique, and let's see if we can make GLaDOS a little bit interesting and different, you know, just to make it feel different.
But even with that, I feel like didn't game theorists do like a theory about the companion cubes and everything? Yeah. And that was like, yes, it had a lot to do with the lore in the second one also, but I feel like it holds up. It holds up, and it really was like a lot of stuff that was in the first video game.
I do want to talk about that theory a little bit when we get into the companion cube part.
That's the problem, is like I feel like I've played these two games such a long time ago that I feel like I'm experiencing it for the first time again. And there's a lot that I know that I forgot. So I'm actually really excited about, because you asked me this morning which one we wanted to play, and at first when you said Portal 2, I was like, let's do that, but then I was like, kind of want to go back to the first one first, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's why here we are. This video game is so good.
You know, and it's like, and you know, we dabble in writing. You write more than I do. To think of a story that's just like, all right, this is supposed to be just self-contained, and then all of a sudden it's like it's gonna be a huge hit, so now you have to make a sequel.
Yeah,
it's like, where do you even begin? It's like,
well, that's the thing, is I feel like this game is so creative. Just because it's an experimental game doesn't mean it has to be bad, or doesn't mean that, you know, you just throw pasta at a wall and see what sticks, right? Which I do think that they did part of that. What they did with this game, I felt like, was that. But the cake is a lie. The GLaDOS as a character is very rich.
That was a meme that the internet really kind of created and overdid.
No, it's in the game.
It's in the game, but they didn't mean it to be such a big thing. It became like kind of a runaway meme for the internet.
But it's still in there.
It is.
It's still in the original game. So that's what I mean. Is just stuff like that. It's just little things like that that are so clever that when you're basing a video game around it, it gives you a lot of rich foundation to start to build on. So it's not like, you know, it's not like it's just like a badly written.
No.
Even though it is very experimental, even though they are trying to, you know,
And the fact that they were able to tie in like some sort of connection, not just with GLaDOS and Shell, the player you're playing as, but just also sort of the whole facility, what the facility was meant for, who ran the facility, and even sort of tying it in within the Half-Life universe, which is crazy, you know?
Which is so fun.
And
but that's what I love about the beginning of the second one, is like, this one does start off as like, we're teaching you how to play this game, we're teaching you the mechanics of this game, and then the second one, you wake up, you can't move properly, your brain's not communicating with your body properly because you've been asleep for so long, and then the entire facility starts imploding. You know, like it starts completely, you know, and it's just like, what is happening? And it's just so, it just builds so nicely on the first one because, like you said, the first one is memorable because of GLaDOS, but it's not anywhere near as memorable as Portal 2. You know? Yeah. Portal 2's just got all sorts of fun stuff going on. But yeah.
And you've probably haven't even seen the wonderful world of speedrunning these games.
No.
It's crazy to see.
I can't even imagine.
It's crazy to see the people speedrun not just this game but the second game too.
Yeah,
and like
I
all
can't
the
even
different
imagine.
tricks you can do, because that's another thing too, is like, yeah, this game is like teaching you how to play the game, and it's basically teaching you what you need to do to solve the puzzles, but sort of the solutions are kind of infinite in what you can do. And there's even with like the special puzzles, in the end they take some of these rooms and they're like, well, beat it using only like taking 6 steps or something like that. Like, yeah, it's crazy like what you can really do with these portals.
It's insane.
I feel like I don't have that kind of brain to sort of like think on that level. But it's always fascinating to see other people doing that. So here,
maybe we should try to write a video game that's just like very simple, and then, you know, like something that's just basic, and then try to build a sequel with the lore from the first one. But we didn't really build a lot of lore into the first one, so that would force you to sort of go back. Like, did a developer go back, play Portal 1, and then think, what was the last thing GLaDOS says, you know, under any circumstances, maybe it was shoot it at the moon.
yeah,
And maybe that's where they started, and then they were just like, we're gonna make her shoot it at the moon, you know? Like, it's gonna be ridiculous and funny.
you know, and you know what I love about that though, the whole shoot it at the moon thing. You've read Cat's Cradle, right, by Kurt Vonnegut?
I feel like I have.
So that's
The one with the
Ice Nine.
Ice Nine, yeah, I read that one.
And it's the whole concept of like, you know, isn't this kind of ridiculous that this thing even exists? That this is something that was an experiment being made? And that's kind of what Aperture is.
Yeah.
You know, Aperture is like this kind of thing where it's like, and especially in Portal 2, you see them really testing with a lot of things.
And Cat's Cradle has a really, it's a very dark story.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to say tragic. Dark. Story, but it's also got a sense of humor.
It does, yeah.
And so it's very similar, actually.
Very similar, yeah. And, you know, just the whole concept of the fact that this portal gun exists, and then in Portal 2, yeah, you shoot it at the moon at the end, and that thing happens where you can go to the moon, but then it just highlights how dangerous this weapon kind of is.
Right.
Like, this weapon could be super powerful.
Yeah.
The fact that you can shoot portals
that far,
anywhere.
That far ahead.
That far.
That's crazy.
So it's like...
And also,
they
did
can
anybody
shoot-
think of that?
Right?
Before this moment, yeah.
And it's like, that's the kind of thing that I love. Like, that's like the hidden, and that's why, like, yes, this game is fun and funny, and the stuff you can do in the game is kind of funny, especially with like the double portals, which we still haven't gotten the option to do a double portal yet. We're doing all these instances, all these puzzles with just one portal, and then we haven't reached the second one yet. You know, just the idea that there is this darkness to what you're doing. The fact that you are a clone being recycled for these experiments. Why are these experiments even taking place? Why are they testing people to train with this portal gun? You know what I mean? It's not being used for sort of like weapon purposes. It's almost like, here's a fun little experiment. We're gonna have all these clones. First, we figured out cloning, by the way.
I don't remember that.
What?
I don't remember the cloning piece. Is that in part 2?
That's in part 2, yeah.
Okay, maybe I really am excited to play it over because I don't remember that.
Yeah, the clone. I mean, right when you wake up, you're seeing all the different bodies fall, and then even here.
But is it like your body?
Yeah, it's because it's alluded to, it's your bodies, but it's also other people's bodies, because it's alluded to that Shell was after a while, Shell just became the one that kept getting replicated over and over again, because of GLaDOS probably having that obsessive
about that.
and the maternal thing. but they needed humans to keep doing all the tests, but they would keep running out of humans, and they were capturing humans. So then eventually they were like, well, why don't we just clone the humans? You know what I mean? And so it's the kind of thing where it's like,
see, I feel like I forgot already a lot of part 2, which is sad because it's such a good game, but there's also a lot of lore in the second one.
Yeah.
Whereas in the first one, there's some, and I gotta give it credit, I really do, because if this is a game to sort of just play with this new engine and just figure out what we can do with this new engine, it's a very well done game. Because I remember being really, taken in by it. And obviously it helps that it's a female protagonist. That definitely helps. And a female antagonist.
Yep. Double. Which in 2007 was unheard of.
Yeah.
That was such a... And they didn't make quite a big deal of it as I think they would later on.
Well,
in years as it
I don't
became...
think you can.
You mean back then?
Back then, I don't think you could.
Oh, yeah, definitely, no. Yeah, you couldn't really...
You kind of just have to be like, so play this game.
Yeah. Look at the puzzles.
Look at the puzzles.
Look at the puzzles. Yeah, isn't she funny? The other one doesn't talk, don't worry.
I feel like back then you couldn't do stuff like that. Like, you can't just be like, there's a female protagonist. It was so great. It's just, you just have to kind of do it and just, keep it nice and quiet. But, yeah, which is interesting, but I really did enjoy, and I still want them to make this a movie.
Oh, can we talk about our movie ideas?
Yeah,
let's talk about our movie ideas. Let's talk about them.
Okay, let's talk about them. So what do you want to talk about? The series that we want to start doing?
I died. My no death run is over.
I didn't know this was a no death run.
This is a no death run. Yeah, this is a no death run. And now it's over. Now we have 1 death. Put the death counter up.
Switch. So the YouTube idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have an idea for a YouTube series that we want to do on the Be Better Gamer channel, not the Be Better Gamer Wrestling, where it's called Casting Call.
Casting Call. Video game casting call.
Video game casting call, where we take a particular video game and we separately on our own we create this ideal list for actors, director, designers like music and all that stuff, and what else?
Well, depending on the type of game, like in this case, is the silent protagonist silent? Do they talk?
Okay, like it's particulars about how it would be directed.
And maybe screenwriter, depending on if the game needs a certain style.
That's true.
Maybe.
And also, for me, because we actually, part of how we met was because we were both double majors, and we were double majors for film and theater.
Yeah.
We both ended up dropping film because theater ended up being sort of so all-encompassing, the program.
Yeah, it was a very busy program.
It was insane. But we both started as sort of film babies, and so I think that the idea of, like, for me, for like film stock and stuff like that would be so interesting to look at. You know what I mean?
Oh, we got a follow. I didn't even notice we got a follow.
Oh,
it was about 15 minutes ago.
Oh my god, sorry.
I'm sorry. We were just talking and we just blabbing away. Assorted MC. Thank you so much for the follow. I can't hear the notifications. That's one of the bad things.
Yeah.
Because I'm using the Elgato, and so I have to keep the sound muted on there. Because if I had the sound up, it would create an echo.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was using the mic on the OBS, I could hear the notifications. But the downside is the mic on the OBS has a lag, and I haven't figured out it has a delay, and I haven't figured out how to adjust that yet. That's actually something I want to try to fix this weekend. But thank you so much, Assorted MC, for the follow. I keep forgetting to always look there too sometimes. It usually takes a follow. It usually takes a follow, and then I'll keep my eye on it throughout. Also, I've realized playing this game, even though, again, I've played it before,
you're like,
trying to figure out the puzzles is really tough to do.
Is your brain be hurt?
A little bit.
So yeah, that's the idea for the series that we had for the second YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Which I thought would be so fun, and we could always have like guests. Like we can even like bring on some of our friends and like you know, because then you could get like
make it like a little round table.
Yeah, which would be so much fun. And you know, obviously that takes time because it's like production value, because you want to be able to like put up pictures of the actors that you have in mind,
maybe clips of the movies,
that they've been in, why you think that they're right for the role,
or
and
movies
then also
that the director has done.
Yeah, and then also like, you know, just to have that conversation of like, no, that's a terrible idea.
And we wanted to not tell each other going into it what we were gonna do.
Yeah.
And who we were gonna choose.
Yeah.
Which I think is also great.
Yes.
A great idea.
I think that's so much fun because then you get to sort of be surprised by what you hear and also have that moment of like, wait, who's that actor? And then when you like Google that actor, you're like,
oh,
that person is perfect.
Yeah.
Why didn't I think of that?
And then also see if we come up with the same picks.
Yes, that's true.
But Portal was actually going to be our first one.
Actually, I have an idea.
You have an idea for Shell?
I have an idea for Shell, and I'm really excited about it.
Portal was going to be our first one. We need to do that.
Was it? Okay, so then we have to do it.
We got to buckle down.
I'm actually really excited about my first choice.
Yeah. We'll keep it simple. It doesn't have to be too flashy, the first video. We'll keep it simple. Do some still images and photos and stuff like that. Yeah,
we'll keep it simple. We'll build on it.
And then as we go on, maybe we do more heavy editing clips and make it a little bit more professional looking.
And then I'm going to come in with like a little model that I built.
A little
diorama that I built. This is the set.
Imagine if you will.
And then the camera.
You have just a whole.
The camera zooms in on this miniature, and it comes to life before your eyes.
I'm gonna do claymation. I'm gonna do a claymation version of it. I'm gonna take 3 years.
No place where you live. Every video is gonna take us a whole year to put up. It's gonna get so ridiculous.
But I think Portal would make a great film.
I have the perfect Shell, and I'm gonna be like, fight me, you know.
Would you do a silent? Well, all right. I don't want to actually ask you if you would do a silent protagonist.
No, because we have to save it for the video.
Because we have to save it for the video. But I do want to ask you: do you think in this day and age, a silent protagonist in a film can work?
Yes and no. Yes, it can. But no, if you don't establish why they're not
that
reacting.
person's silent.
Yeah, because even in a movie like Castaway, where he's by himself the whole movie, he's still talking.
He talks,
and that's sort of, that's our nature as human beings, is we need to talk to somebody. We need that. We need to be able to connect with another person, thing, whatever. So I think it's difficult. I think, yes, you can do a silent protagonist. You have to do it right, i.e. Castaway.
Yeah.
Who's not 100% silent, because, you know.
And why do you think, but you know, for quite a while we had silent movies. You know, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin. I mean, obviously sometimes, but why do you think that kind of went away? Like, as soon as they figured out, oh, we can do sound in movies, boom, you never saw any more silent films.
Well,
until recently, they did do the one movie,
The Artist,
and then everyone fell in love with it. Yeah, The Artist, and everyone fell in love with it.
And I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it either.
Because I want talking in my way.
Look at it like I think about it with video games sometimes. Video games, for the longest time, we had silent protagonists, and we also had just text dialogue, and then all of a sudden, you can do voiceovers in video games. You can record voices in video games. And then, but that didn't mean dialogue went away, like text dialogue went away. That didn't mean silent protagonists went away. I mean, we just got, in Breath of the Wild, everyone pretty much talking except for Link. And that was like such a big deal, but, you know, dialogue in video games had already been around for years, whereas movies, it just went away. It just disappeared. And why do you think that is? Like, why do you think it's been able to survive in video games?
Technology. I think it really is. It's just like you can't go back. It's almost like how when we watch like TV from the 60s, it's sort of unwatchable for us. But that was the norm back then. I really think that technology moves at a certain speed, and when there's something better out there that will help you get even closer to that human experience, that connection. I'm not saying that it can't be done. Obviously, The Artist resonated with a lot of people. I haven't seen it still.
We should add that on our queue, though.
We should. We have a queue of...
Never-ending queue
of movies that we want to watch.
I'm never going to watch, because the kids are always awake.
But hey, I went to the library today, and I got 2 movies off of that list. So maybe this will be the week that we told ourselves that we were going to watch
52 movies this year.
We have not watched.
We've watched like 2.
Which one?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
No, that doesn't.
That counts.
Does
No,
it?
that was
Okay.
on my list. That counts.
Okay.
And Star Wars Rogue One. That counts, even though you didn't like it.
I didn't.
Hot takes.
Hot take. I didn't like that
I
movie.
liked it as a Star Wars film. I did not like it as a movie. I rewatched it when you weren't here.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel about like. Okay, I'm gonna be throwing it way
Now that
deferred
you are in
back.
control of those closures,
The
Yeah,
what?
deferred.
long
Does anybody remember the Silent Hill movie?
Oh,
The first
yeah.
one that came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
You thought that was a bad movie?
It was a terrible movie. It was a very good video game movie. It was a very good Silent Hill movie. It was a terrible movie.
I didn't think it was
It
terrible.
was terrible.
I felt it had like, I felt like it fell apart going towards the end when when the people start showing up, like the townspeople. It's like, okay, why are all these people here living in this Silent Hill universe? You know what I mean? And then Pyramid just comes in and murks them all, and like didn't like the thing burn down? Spoilers if you haven't seen Silent Hill.
So
The
go
movie.
watch the movie and then
I didn't.
It's a very good Silent Hill movie.
It's a good Silent Hill movie, yes.
because they did the shots. They nailed the shots and everything.
And they had Doug Jones
they had
helping
Doug-
out.
oh,
And, you just
come
get
on.
Doug Jones. Come on,
Yeah,
your movie's
it's
a
a
hit.
wrap. It's a wrap.
Which we also still have to see.
Everything. We have to see everything, guys.
What is it? Water?
Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. Yeah, Shape of Water.
Yeah, because we're terrible.
It's just called Water.
It's called Water,
Water.
starring Doug Jones.
Water.
I'd watch that.
I watch it, and he's Water. He's the Water.
He's just the water, and it's like 90 minutes
Yeah.
of him just doing.
And he's
this.
really good at it. He's really good at it. He gets nominated for Golden Globe.
Yeah, we have to watch a lot of movies, but what were we talking about?
Portal. Well, the silent protagonist.
talking about
I guess my real question was.
That was your fake question before?
Yeah, that was a fake question. It was a warm up.
That
I
was-
guess my real question was,
To confuse
why
you.
do you think in video games? And I know the
Because you're the player.
I know
It's
that's
easier it's easier to insert yourself if the person, for example, if you're playing as a character and they have, a very high-pitched voice and you don't identify that way, or it throws you out. It pulls you out of that moment, right? Whereas here you have that, is it first person? You
Yeah.
have that first person view and there's no voice. And
But
especially that it's a female protagonist in 2007. There might be something to be said about that, right? You can plug yourself in and enjoy the experience and feel like this is your experience without having a voice to go with it. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, but I still know I'm playing as Shell. I
Yeah.
still know I'm playing as a woman. If I'm playing,
Do you feel feminine?
I feel a little bit feminine.
You're like
That's why I grew up my hair.
You're like, I'm gonna wear a summer dress when I play this.
But when I play Legend of Zelda, I know I'm still playing as Link. I know you're right, and I know that's the intent, and I know that's what they all say. I know that's what all the developers say, and they know more than I do because they make the games. But there still is a little bit of disconnect there that we just completely allow to disappear. We allow that to disappear. We allow ourselves to become the person. Why do you think if we're watching a movie and we see someone who's silent throughout, why do you think we can't still have that same connection you would have? Is it really just you
That's
can't
not-
even be
no,
the first person because
no.
there are some third person games where you play as a silent protagonist.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say, because I do think that you can do it in a way that's artful and that, you're telling a story and people are on board with you and everything. However, I think that it takes a lot more work to do a silent protagonist that's gonna, especially in a movie, that's going to draw you in and you're gonna say that was good.
Because the thing with a movie is that, and this is something I heard a long time ago, I think it was Adam Sessler who said it. The thing with a movie is that everyone experiences the same movie, whereas not everyone experiences the same game.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what it really kind of boils down to, too.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting. I feel like, I don't want to hype it up, but I feel like we might differ on if Shell speaks or not in the film. And also maybe even when we get to Half-Life, because that's going to be another one.
Half-Life is a completely different movie.
If Half-Life, if Gordon Freeman speaks,
I have a lead for that I'm really excited about too.
Our lead might be the same.
Our lead might be the same.
Our lead might be the same
because we talked about this before.
and he's been my lead for the past like decade.
Oh, I kind of want to know now.
No, I'm not gonna tell you. We're gonna have to make. Can y'all play TNA together soon? That's the Impact Wrestling game.
We can. I'm gonna be the one that's like, Jose's gonna be like, so this is Owen Hart, and I'm gonna be like,
oh, he was never in Impact Wrestling.
you see, like right there. It's gonna be so bad because I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna just know little snippets, and then I'm gonna misquote stuff. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be like trying to quote stuff.
You're gonna be doing like the Rock's catchphrase, but for like
Rikishi.
someone else. There you go. But you said Rikishi, and they're related, so there you go.
There you go.
Part of the Samoan dynasty. My wife doesn't play wrestling games.
It's not that I don't like. It's okay. Wrestling is one of those things. We have a lot of stuff in common.
Oh yeah.
Like absurd amounts in common.
Weird stuff too.
Yeah, weird stuff we have in common. Like the video games, it's not necessarily something that I do a lot of because, like I said, I didn't grow up with video games. So when you pick up a video game, like as a grown person, and try to do this stuff, like I legitimately get motion sickness. Like it's just one of those things. Like I don't have that built into my brain.
Well, because they say women actually get more motion sickness than men.
Because we were not
We're not making the games.
We're not making the games. We're also not.
Our brains are. It's something to do with
back in the day.
Our brains too, right?
Back in the day, we weren't playing the games either. Because it used
so
to
they
be
didn't pick up on it.
Exactly. So it was one of those things where, like, my sister doesn't get motion sickness when she plays. Why? Because she's been playing since she was I was a teenager when I got my first system. My sister was like
5 years younger, so
like
preteen, tween.
No, she was
now?
like 7 or 9, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I got mine in
digits.
junior high school. I got mine.
And your first system was?
What's the NES?
And in junior high school, circa what?
97.
By the time we had the N64.
Yeah. So just to give you guys some perspective here. Okay, just to give you guys some perspective, I'm wearing my contacts so I can't see very well.
Oh, okay.
I
have my laser vision, so I'm good.
I know, shut up. I hate you. So it's one of those things where, for me, you know, anyways, the gaming I could get into, though, because at least you could play and I can enjoy it that way. And that's something that we bonded with very early on. But the wrestling, I struggle with wrestling. For a lot of reasons that I won't get into right now because that's a whole conversation in of itself. But wrestling, I'm as supportive as I can be of you doing it because it's something you're passionate about. And that's the thing is, like, when you're an adult and you are in a relationship with someone, you have to realize that you're not going to have all the same likes and dislikes, and that's okay because you're two individual people, and I think we're very good about that as a couple.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You have your stuff that you like. I have my stuff that I like.
I hate couples. Like, I hate talking to dudes who are
everything they have to do together.
My girlfriend, she doesn't like me watching this or playing this. I have to like do it in a separate room all by myself, and she can't know about it. Yeah, and it's just like, then why are you with her? Like, she should, like, even if she doesn't like the thing, fine, but you shouldn't be like feel like excluded for that.
Yeah, and it's a two-way, and it's a two-way street, really. Yeah. Like it's the same thing as the guy that has a problem with his girlfriend going out with her friends, and doing stuff like it's
like, why?
You guys are two individual people.
Do you have a Twitch channel?
No, I do not.
You should get a Twitch channel. You can do in real life on Twitch. You can go down that rabbit hole.
Jose's shown me a few things on Twitch that have kept me up nights.
I wanted to show you something, but you were asleep. I wanted to show you something that I found yesterday on In Real Life that I think you would have loved.
No, I'm not on Twitch. I do have a YouTube channel that I'm just starting out with.
You can put the camera out there and stream working on the garden.
So we have very different likes. We have a lot of overlapping likes.
But you also like, you're really into knitting.
I'm really into knitting.
You're really into gardening. And like, those are things I am not as into.
You're not into makeup as much as I'd like you to be.
As much as you would love me to be into makeup.
I've been trying to talk him into going as the doctor in Rocky Horror because he had like this was when you had shorter hair.
Oh, I had shorter hair, yeah.
And there was like the short curl. It was like, Jose, I'll put you in fishnets and it'll be great. I'll do your makeup. And he was like not at all about that life. So
one day.
Maybe one day.
Maybe you'll talk me into it one
Maybe
day.
I'll talk you into it.
Maybe we'll do if it becomes like a thing where we're getting a lot of votes for it.
Yeah, there you go.
The people want it.
The people
I'm a
want
man
it.
of the people.
Oh my God, Jose.
I always say
it would be so cool.
I'm a man of
It'd
the
be so
people.
cool. Yeah.
But yeah, you could do it. I keep telling Kedem to get a Twitch channel.
Yes.
Because I think
I feel like I like the immediate gratification of Twitch.
Yes.
Because let me tell you something, like, and for some of you that probably do YouTube, and I know for you,
yeah.
Editing is just
It's lonely.
It's lonely, it's tedious, and
Yeah.
not only that, but like I work a 9 to 5, so it's
Tough.
like for me, it's like I some nights I'll come. Like, I don't do my makeup every single day, right? So, like, some days I'll be like, okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays I gotta do my makeup because then I can shoot a video at night and then try to edit it that night, and then by that point I'm exhausted and all that good stuff. And then it's tedious. It's just tedious because, it's a learning curve and it's a lot. So I was trying to wrap my head around the YouTube stuff, but now I'm like, this is nice because it is immediate gratification.
Yeah. And then, you can just get up. I mean, you just, turn on Twitch and play and not have to worry about mistakes, not have to worry about things not looking proper. And that's sort of the appeal. But again,
it's also like, it also makes my eye twitch a little bit as a perfectionist.
Exactly. And it's also the kind of thing where it's like you lose some of that artistic freedom. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't really express my creativity just playing naturally. I mean, I could talk and like, be entertaining and stuff like that. But then like if I want to maybe like, do certain cuts or like do like a video essay or something, you can't really do that live.
Yeah. And also
so
like
it's tough.
comedy also in editing is like really big, and that's what I like to do. And I would lose that.
You're really good with the comedy too.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
really
that.
good.
He saw like one, it was so funny. He saw one video of me like doing a succulent unboxing, which is like the most, it's the most unfunny thing that you could ever talk about, right?
You made it funny.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, I don't have a Twitch channel is the long-winded way of me answering that. But who knows?
Maybe down the line, you never know.
We have talked about doing other stuff. I've talked about doing some stuff with friends on Twitch, but I'm kind of like at that point where I'm like,
the whole goal of tonight wasn't just to have a substitute for Kedem, but it was also just to sort of get you bitten by the Twitch bug.
Is that the side?
Yeah.
The side?
Because I think we work really well together on Twitch.
Aw.
I just think we work really. I think we work.
You garnered that. For
We're much better. We're much better live. We're much better live. You should see us live.
You should see us live. We're much better live.
So, but I do appreciate our dynamic. Not to like say like, oh, we're better than other couples on Twitch or YouTube or whatever.
We're so much better.
But I've been watching.
No.
I've been sort of watching other couples on Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that, and it feels very rehearsed. It feels very choreographed, or it feels like it's.
Babe,
it's too much.
Is this shots fired?
Shots fired on all the well, no, it's just that what I'm always going for with my vibe, and also just in co-op connection in general. When I watch people play video games together on YouTube, on Twitch, everything's an amazing moment. Oh my god, did you see that? Oh my god, it's like that's not how we really play games.
No.
At least that's how I've never played games with people.
Unless we're talking about the first time that we played inside, because the first time we played inside, we were definitely that couple where we were like, oh my god, every single moment. And you can go and watch the Let's Play on Be Better Gamer's second channel. Yeah. Be Better Gamer.
Be Better Gamer. Be Better Gamer proper, I like to call it.
No, you really like calling it that. It's really funny.
Do you think it works?
I think it works. I like it. But yeah.
I don't think it works as like a banner though. I couldn't put like Be Better Gamer proper.
Can you do, like,
what's up, everyone? Welcome to Be Better Gamer proper.
No, you gotta do it like different. You gotta do like proper, where like the O is like a monocle or something.
That's
where
pretentious.
it's very like British, and it's like this is Brigada Gamer.
There's actually a guy, I think his channel is Top Hat Gaming. He's British, and he's very like snooty and
He stole my idea.
sassy. He did. He stole your idea.
He stole my idea.
I actually like watching his stuff. His stuff is kind of fun. But yeah, no, it's just that like you said, your first system was a N64, and you didn't.
No, NES.
An NES. And around the era of the N64, when I was playing WWF No Mercy, you were playing Mario Brothers 1 and Duck Hunt.
What was the one that's me and my sister's like one of our dumb favorites? Strider.
Strider, yes.
Does anybody remember Strider?
That was really good. But I don't think that was NES. I think that was
it?
Genesis.
No, there was a Strider game on the NES.
Was there?
Yes,
Okay.
because I remember playing it with my sister. And Jose, we did not have another system, so it had to be the NES.
But
It could have.
you didn't start liking games. Like, you didn't all of a sudden make it one of your passions and obsessions because it's mine.
No.
And sometimes I feel like that's what you get from the couples. And I'm not saying it's exclusively the girls who do it, because there's definitely sometimes the guy gamers who are trying to emulate what the girl loves. And you can tell who loved it first. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like with us, it's like you're really good at... I feel like you have both feet in. Like you have 1 foot in where it's like, I like video games, I understand video games, and then you have 1 foot in where it's like, but it's not my whole life, it's not my whole passion. So I'm able to look at it with a different lens than I do, because I feel like I'm kind of stuck in that I've been playing video games for 30 years kind of thing. Whereas when we play games together, I make this joke all the time, and you always make fun about it, but it's like, you still get excited when you play with video games.
Yes.
That excitement is kind of gone for me.
Oh, it makes me sad.
Yeah, but it's not like a bad thing. Like, I can still fall in love with video games. I can
Now. Okay, well, actually...
Is Groot...
Because Owen asked, I guess we'll show him one of our kids.
Oh, I think he's seen Groot before.
Yeah, I know, but he's getting so big! He's getting so big, my baby! Oh my god, I can't believe how big he is. You're getting so big, and you're gonna keep growing. Sorry, you were saying. I'm sorry.
No, I just think that,
here.
wait, do I have to go in here? What do I have to do here? I have to
See,
activate
bro.
that. Yeah, okay, I have to go in there. Oh, I think I remember what I gotta do. And then it's the blue.
Don't eat my yarn.
There it is. Don't do it. Uh-oh. What did I do?
No.
We want it there, so we want it to just bounce off.
That's our
Nope,
most
that's not
well-behaved
what I
child.
It is, actually.
You're the most well-behaved out of all of
Oh, wait, I
them.
have to do it in that one. Okay.
You're a baby. You're a baby puppy.
There we go. I just had to think. Oh, wait, nope, I still did it wrong. Hold on, I had to think about this one for a little bit. Ooh, this is tough to do puzzles and talk.
And talk at the same time.
Puzzle games are hard
Should I
to
take
stream.
over?
No, it's fine.
Talking.
There we go.
You. Don't worry, I got you.
You got it.
I'm always impressed with your ability to talk like endlessly for hours
about wrestling and
about
video games?
wrestling specifically, because I'm just like, in my head I'm just like, well,
wow, there's still more stuff to talk about.
He can still talk about this. Wow, that's amazing, because like I feel like your videos are really long too.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
And
Drew.
people crave the long videos. It's funny. You're
so funny
always
'cause-
like, your videos are too long, and it's
So-
like, it's what the people want.
I know, and it's so funny. It's like so mind-boggling to me, because in my head, I feel like YouTube videos, when they're really good, they should be like little potato chips, right? Where you have like one that's like 15 minutes at the most, right? And so it's a nice little potato chip where you say 15 minutes. I don't have to be at work until an hour from now. I have 15 minutes, right?
I can watch
and
this
so
little thing.
I will take this little potato chip and I'll eat it. So what happens with potato chips? You just want to keep eating them.
And that's what YouTube thought at first. They thought the same thing you did. And then they realized, wait, people want the longer videos. It's crazy, right?
I actually, I have a rule that if a video is, more than 30 minutes, I can't, I don't have time for that.
Well, it's interesting because,
I'm the potato chip
you're
YouTube
competing,
person.
at that point, you're competing with, TV shows, you know?
Yeah.
Owen says,
absolutely.
my first game console was a PS2, and then I had a Wii. And then I had an Xbox 360 and broke it. So I got another one. Finally, I got Xbox One, and it broke 4 days ago. Your Xbox One broke? Oh, that sucks.
That stinks.
How did it break? I remember when I first got the Xbox 360.
Oh my god, do you remember that?
I had 4 red rings.
4
Red rings of death. That was the
Come here.
first console that ever like legit broke on me. That was like the first console that ever legit broke on me. But he says his first game console was a PS2. That's a good console to start with, the PS2.
I'm a little jealous. That's like a good childhood. That's like you had a good, decent childhood. God bless. No, but really, like, if you
But the
don't
PS2 wasn't out by the time you got your NES. So.
but also, like, I feel like you have more of if that's what you were introduced to early on, you have a better idea of how these mechanics work, like how to move the joystick and
you were born with 2 joysticks. Yes, I agree.
I did not get that until like I was like in high school or something like that.
I do think, it's funny you bring up like the video games thing. I do agree with that. I do think like gaming is the kind of thing, like if you started when you were younger, you have much more fun playing it when you're older, as opposed to getting
Rachel's a lot more of a gamer than my sister.
She
That's
is.
my sister.
Yeah,
for
because she
context.
started younger.
And she was 5 years younger than me. So when we got our NES, I feel like she was either like, because I was like either 11 or 12. So that means she was either 6 or 7. So for her, it was a really good.
He wasn't even born when the PS2 came out.
Don't rub it in. So yeah, so she
I
was
like being an older gamer though.
I feel like she was 7 or 8 when we got our NES. So like she's really like she's a lot bigger of a gamer than I am. Like she actively
She's got her own custom PC now.
I don't have my own custom anyway. You know. Hey, no, stop it. Why are you doing this? He keeps biting my yarn.
Oh, well,
Fruit. I just
did
said
he
that
grab it?
No, actually it just keeps getting stuck on him because he's a derp. You're a derp. Come here, you derp. Look at him. He's like, oh, you're going to pet me? It's great. I love it when you pet me. He's such a derp.
But yeah,
I'm sorry, we keep getting distracted.
No, but that's the thing. But that's the thing I wanted to come back to with the whole. My first system was, the first system I remember playing was an NES, right? But technically, the first system I ever played was the Atari 2600. Because we had one.
I had
and
one
my
too.
sister.
Did you know that?
Did you?
My
was
dad.
it in the closet like mine?
Okay. No, my dad apparently was that guy.
He was my dad.
Was that stereotypical Hispanic man who was like, this just came out, so I have to get it.
Yeah.
And he, didn't play it at all, and I think it just kind of sat there. But, obviously, like, my parents separated when I was really young, so by the time that, I was with my mom, we didn't have any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And my mom also was like, foosball is the devil. so yeah. So there's that.
Here's the first time we're seeing the turrets,
The
who
turrets.
play a really big part in the second game in a way.
Yes.
Not just, like, I feel like they get fleshed out more as characters, but also they help establish the tone of the world.
You should probably do something about that turret.
No, he's just shooting.
Did you guys hear that? Because I can hear it. I'm just like...
I love when you grab them and they talk.
Yes. They're like, what's happening?
And then, like, just having fun with the turrets, like...
Like that. It is very comical.
It is.
And that was something that I was excited about the co-op stuff in Portal 2, but I'm not good. You know what? And maybe we will actually do...
We should do it. I did it with Nico.
Nico. If you could do it with Nico, I feel like
It was great. You know what was great about Portal 2 co-op? There were times where we were both actively, like, just staring at it, like we were staring at a giant magic eye together. Just like... And we're just like so close. We're waiting for the other one to have the aha moment.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty. Those are the moments where you get the joy and satisfaction playing co-op. They're not forced. You have to like kind of work at them.
Right.
And especially if you've been playing games for a long time. That's the thing. Like, I've been playing games for like 30 years. Like, so when I see things that impress me, I'm like, yeah, I'm impressed. But I'm also at the point where it's like, okay, let me experience it. Let it overwhelm me. Mm-hmm. I'm not putting on a show when I'm sitting in a room by myself and like, oh my god, headshot. It's
you
like.
See, but that's the thing is, we're very different in general in that way. Because I am that person who absolutely. So one thing about me, I don't like scary movies. I'm not very good at watching them. One day, I think it was when you were gone to that conference.
What conference?
Not the conference. What is it called?
Too Many Games?
Too Many Games.
Oh,
I think it was
okay.
when you were gone for Too Many Games. It was like a year ago now. I watched this movie on Netflix that's like not a horror film. It was called The Invitation. It's on Netflix. And I was freaking out by myself in the house, like talking to myself and just like yelling at the TV, like, are you serious? I can't believe this. And then texting my friend because I couldn't take how tense the movie was.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's just a major difference between you and me. I've only ever seen you get scared once when we were playing a video game.
Which game?
Because meaning you've gotten scared, but you haven't shown it physically. I think it was when we were playing Condemned with the mannequins.
Oh, yeah, that part
That's
was
gonna
scary.
That part was terrifying.
We gotta do that.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
Owen
for
says he
Halloween.
has an Atari, but he just has as a collectible. That's really cool. Yeah, my
That is nice.
sister
That would be nice
says
to have because it's a really nice looking console.
yeah. I kind of want to do that. I want to I mean, I have the GameCube over there that's not plugged in. That's sort of just like being a collectible.
But you want to do like the lighting. The lighting
Make
has
it look
to be there.
fancy,
Make
yeah.
it look fancy, yeah.
You know, like all the Instagram gamers do.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Did they even call it a console back then? Back then it was like, here's this box of
home
games.
video game entertainment system.
I like my name back
Because the Nintendo was called Nintendo Entertainment
and
System.
That's right, I forgot
But
about
all
that.
it did was play Nintendo games.
Right,
It
right.
wasn't really a
So it wasn't called a console.
Yeah.
I call it box of games.
and Boxo game.
Box of games.
But real quick, because Owen has a question about the movie, and I want you to
Which
explain the
movie?
movie. The movie that you were watching.
The Invitation. Okay. The Invitation is about a guy who got divorced from his wife, and he's going to a party at her house with her new husband, I think. And they're part of a cult. Like I don't want to say cult, but they're part of this new group.
Like
I don't want to
cult.
say anything more than that.
Who's in it?
It's not very notable actors in it,
Oh,
but I
okay.
have to say, I was shook. I saw it and I was like, this movie.
Is it on Netflix still?
I think it still is because I think it's more of like an indie film.
Okay.
I really highly recommend it.
The Invitation.
The Invitation.
Drunken Homemaker recommends
The Invitation.
The Invitation.
It's more of a thriller. It's not a horror film. It's definitely a thriller. For me, I was definitely getting very tense, but also I'm not very accustomed to watching a lot of movies like that. So also don't take my word for it because I am like I'm that person.
Because so you're saying you probably get scared about stuff that normal people wouldn't get scared about.
No, I think that maybe it's possible because I don't watch a lot of scary movies, and most of the movies that I do watch are like either very artful or like very funny, you know.
Yeah.
So like I saw Babadook with you, and you didn't think it was scary at all.
No.
I thought it was terrifying. I didn't sleep for 2 days after we watched Babadook. For 2 full days after we watched Babadook, and Jose hated the movie. He didn't think it was scary at all. Jake said that he liked the movie too, though.
Yeah.
Kenem
said
and
he
it
liked
is
that.
and it is one of those movies that a lot of people it's on their list of like one of the best horror
A
movies.
lot of people love that movie.
Yeah. Jose just
I
he just didn't get it. He's so sweet. He's
I
so
got
beautiful.
it. I just didn't agree with it. But
He didn't agree with it.
whatchamacallit? All right. So real quick, to sort of get back to the Portal lore, because it's funny going back and playing this. There's moments to the lore that pops out. A lot of it is really just like you're playing puzzle games, right?
So I'm sorry. Was that blood there already?
No, that's because I'm getting shot.
Okay,
by
that's
the,
what- I was
and I
just
left
like-
the portal open, so the gun saw me.
Ah.
But look, help
Help. Yeah.
the hand,
And then you go into this little area.
you go into this little
Yeah.
area, and it's someone.
See? The cake is a
leaving
lie.
The cake is a lie.
So I know that it's a meme, but it was in there.
Someone had figured it out. Someone had figured out like this is all a lie.
Yeah.
And this was the character ended up being called, I believe, Ratman. I think he actually has like a full name, but there was like a whole little like digital comic and
There's a
everything
comic,
done about
yeah.
him.
Yeah, which is really cool.
But you know, going into it, not knowing that, playing this game for the first time, this was the part where I was like, "Whoa, something's going on here."
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting it because like when you first heard about this game, oh, it's a puzzle game, it's a first-person puzzle game, it's really cool, it's a first-person puzzle game, and then you get to this room, it's like this is more than a puzzle game.
Yes.
You know, this is more than a puzzle game.
This is where it turns around and you're just like, oh, what is happening?
Yeah, and then even the music changes a little bit.
Yes, I love it.
Even the music changes.
See, that's
a little
what
bit.
I mean about like. That's what I mean about like they did have a solid foundation for which to build Portal 2, even though they weren't thinking that far ahead.
Yeah.
Like they made this intriguing.
Yes.
AF, if I can. But yeah, this part is where it definitely you're just like, what is happening? Yeah, this is really cool. And I am definitely that person. I love stuff like this. I love.
Oh yeah.
I love watching a video game sort of come to life and anything.
Owen
Anything
says the invitation is still on Netflix, by the way.
sweet.
Add it to your queue.
Add it to your queue, man.
Should I watch it? You think I like it?
I think you might. I really was into it, but I was definitely yelling at the TV because it was one of those movies.
Why are you going in there?
Yes, yes. Where especially like when you're Latino, like you're like don't do it. Why is she going in there? I can't believe she's going in there. You get so into your feelings about it.
I remember when I went to go see the first Saw with my sister.
in your neighborhood.
No, it was actually in Manhattan.
Okay.
But it was very much like that kind of crowd.
A mixed crowd, right?
And that was like one of my favorite parts about watching that movie was the people like, why are you doing that?
Yes.
Don't go in there.
There's no like.
Oh no! You're gonna get cut. You're gonna get cut.
Nobody has a sense of self-preservation like people of color.
Oh yeah, we know.
People of color
We know it's a trap. We know it's a trap. That's a trap.
Go to the basement.
That's a trap. You're gonna get murdered. Remember when we went to go see a Scary Movie? Not Scary Movie. The actual movie. That Scary Movie. Scream 4.
Was it? We went to see it here, right?
Yeah.
With my sister, because we were like, we saw the we saw the Scream movies growing up, so we were like, we gotta see it in the theater. What happened? I forgot.
No, it was the same thing. People were like screaming and yelling, and it was fun. It was cool.
I promise, people aren't getting shot outside. It's fireworks.
It's fireworks.
Our
It's
neighborhood
still 4th of July.
Our neighborhood isn't that dangerous.
Yesterday it was raining. Last night it was raining, so they didn't do the fireworks.
Oh.
I think that's what it was.
Well, I don't mind that. One of our dogs hates
Our oldest dog, yeah, she can't stand it.
But yeah, the invitation is good. I recommend it. Let me know what you think, because I'm curious to know what other people think. I enjoyed it. I thought it was like a very well-rounded movie, and the characters were very compelling to me, and the story was very. I felt like it was a good story, but I also saw it like an idiot by myself. Like I put the girls to bed and was like, I'm gonna drink wine and watch a movie because Daddy's not here. Yeah, I was like trying to be
It's
that
funny.
person.
I kind of do that too when you're not
Yeah,
here.
you
I'll
have
like
to-
put
you
on
have
a
to do
movie.
that. We're very independent people. Like we work really, really well. What is
What's
Saw?
Saw?
Owen.
The Saw movies.
Owen.
Well,
no,
listen.
The
first
movie.
one. That's all you gotta watch.
Stop at the first movie.
The first one. There's like 10 of them,
There's like a million of them.
and then I think they even did like a
spin-off or something.
like a
Yeah.
spin-off or something. Like, cause like one of the characters keeps coming up in some of the later movies.
And
It's nonsense.
the first one is good, but it's sort of for me. It really.
It was
kind
different.
It was a birth of like this new genre of like really gory movies that I'm super not into. But the first one is a psychological thriller.
Yes.
Which is what I think.
that has gore in it, but the
that's
gore
where you should
isn't
stop.
what you go to see the film for.
Whereas the latter movies became all about the gore.
Yeah.
To the point where I think it was the third movie that me and my sister went to go see in the theater, and we walked out.
I was out after the second movie.
We walked.
He says he's gonna watch it after the
I'm
stream.
excited. I'm excited for you.
That's awesome.
After the first 5 minutes of that movie, me and my sister walked out because my sister was shaking from how gory the first 5 minutes of the movie were, and I was like, "That's not for me. It's not enjoyable. When gore for gore's sake is not. It's not exciting to me. It's not enjoyable. That's just how I feel about it. But that's what I like about The Invitation is that it's compelling. It's a thriller. It's a thriller, and it's good at what it does. But even with that, I was like freaking out. I was freaking out.
I'm just gonna have him look at the wall. Look, he's in the corner. I put him in the corner.
I was clutching my pearls the whole time. You had to see me. It was so funny. I just was texting.
I don't think you told me you saw that movie when I was.
I feel like I did, but I also was texting Sarah because I was freaking out so much. Where I was basically live tweeting, but just live texting her the entire movie. Where I was like, "Oh my gosh, you won't believe what's happening! Oh my gosh, she actually just did this," and I don't want to give anything away because I don't want to ruin it for Owen.
You don't want to ruin it. You don't
yeah, but I'm excited. I'm excited that he's gonna watch it, and you have to let me know what he thinks about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the Saw is also another movie. There's like 10 of them. Just watch the first one. It's a little gory, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's a psychological thriller.
Yeah,
It does it well. Whereas everything after that is garbage, I think.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion.
I mean,
but then again, I stopped after the third
right
one.
away in the second film. I just remember watching it, and I saw the second film in the theaters because the first one was like such a big hit.
Yeah.
It was an unexpected hit, and then me and my sister we went to go see the second one in the theaters, and I remember watching like halfway through, and I was like, "This is bad. Like, this is not
and
good."
I remember the other day with Kedem, we were talking about that particular scene. Do you remember the scene where? Well, I won't give anything away.
Oh
here.
yeah, I know.
I
remember what you guys were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, we were both like, "This is so dumb. Why would you do that?"
It's the opposite of Portal. Because we talked about this in the beginning where Portal was made as a standalone and they were like, hey, that was a big hit. You should go and make a sequel. And then the sequel ends up being way better than the first one. Not to take anything away from the first one, but expanding on the first one and becoming better and becoming the definitive version of that series, where I saw went the opposite direction. It's like the first one was really good and then it just got worse. And I feel like that's a big problem with sequels in general.
Yeah.
What's up, WWE No Mercy fan? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Drunken Homemaker is an awesome name. LOL.
Yeah.
What are you drinking tonight? What's on tap?
I'm drinking New York 9-pin. I don't know if it is available outside of New York now that I think of it.
How would you ship it?
I went through so much to get this because I drank it one time in a restaurant and I liked it so much, and then I went into my local
winery.
No,
it
was like where they sell beer, and that's like their thing is they exclusively sell beer. And then the guy was like, "But how would they get it here?" And I was like, "What do you mean? Like how they get all beer here, like in cans?" And he's like, "No, I don't think they sell it like that." He goes, "I don't think they sell it like that." I was like, "I drank it like that." He's like, "Are you sure it wasn't on tap?" Like this guy was. I was literally like, I walked out of there and I was like, what just happened? Like, I literally didn't know how to react to that. And that was like, yeah,
we're doing good. We're doing good. Normally, I shouldn't say normally, but only in Co-op Connection has it been me and Kedem. And I decided, since Kedem's out of town, we finally get Drunken Homemaker to make her debut. And even though we're not playing a co-op game per se, it's still a shared co-op experience because we have a lot of love for this game and this series, and
they be shooting people out there.
It's lit, as the kid would say.
As
the kid would say, because a lot of kids don't say it anymore.
No,
because the adults started saying it.
Yeah.
No Mercy fan says, "Nice. I'm a cheap date. Nothing but Coors Light for me."
I am definitely. I didn't think I would be that person, but I'm not a beer drinker. Number one, I like wines. I like hard ciders. Actually, Kedem was drinking my rosé the other night, and he was like, "I really like this. This is why me and Kedem we're both Libras. We're both."
I want to do a horror game stream with the three of us, because he gets a little freaked out about horror games too.
I love horror so much.
Yeah.
I'm such a scaredy cat. I could make a living out of just playing terrifying video games.
That was all the rage a few years ago.
I wish that I would have known about that before PewDiePie.
Yeah, right? You would have been PewDiePie.
I would have been PewDiePie because if you think PewDiePie gets scared.
And you're less racisty than he is.
I don't think he's... well, I don't know about that. I don't know that he's racisty, but I know that he says a lot of stuff that I'm always like, oh, you could have said that better.
He's a little insensitive.
He's a little insensitive, yeah.
Real quick, so this is the first... meeting with the companion cube.
No.
In this game, yeah, we haven't had the companion cube yet.
We had it in the first level, didn't we?
No, it was just a regular cube.
Oh.
This has the hearts on
heart.
it. There's a great. Owen says he's 11, so he doesn't drink. I don't drink either, and I'm not 11, so.
That's fair. That's good.
That's totally
Keep doing it, Owen.
There's a great game theory video by Matt Pat, who created the Game Theorist channel. I don't know if you've all heard of him, about the companion cubes are people, that there's human remains in here. And this goes along with the theory of the clones and having to get rid of the bodies. What do? They take the bodies, they put them in in the
does,
cube.
He does tend to have a theory about that. Like, he also has a similar theory with Wall-E. He does tend to go down that vein of
that they're eating people.
That they're eating people.
Well, because that all comes from like Soylent
sense.
Green. That all comes that all comes from Soylent Green, and I think that's just kind of stuck in our sort of like mind share when it comes to like sci-fi and fantasy. It's like we're always gonna kind of go there. It's like
I haven't watched Soylent
are
Green,
they
but
eating
I do
people?
know.
But I love that theory, and I think that theory holds up, and it makes a lot of sense. And it also like kind of it makes like what I love about the companion cube is like just like how you said, it's like, oh, I thought we had this in the beginning. It's like, no, it didn't have hearts on it.
Yeah, that's right.
And the fact that it has hearts on it makes it a character.
Makes you want to protect it.
Companion cube will
At least for me.
And this is really where GLaDOS starts.
Oh, and then she says, "Please take care of it."
And this is where GLaDOS starts showing more of her personality in terms of viewing how you relate to the companion cube. And if we're gonna go with the theory that this is someone in it, you could even go with the theory that this is one of Shell's previous forms that didn't make it. When I got shot by that laser, maybe this is me right then and there. You know what I mean?
Right,
and it's just like the game doesn't tell you that that's true. The game doesn't confirm it, but it also kind of like when you think about it, when you look at sort of the clues that MatPat lays out, it's almost like it's one of those things. Those are the theories I love, where it's like, do the developers know about this? Did they plan this? Like, were they really thinking on that level? It's just I just love that theory so much, and it makes the companion cube a character. Is G1 on Sunday or Saturday, BBG, and how can you watch it live? Is it on New Japan World or pay-per-view? It's going to be on New Japan World, I believe. Now, they said it's going to be live on New Japan World if you're outside of the US, because it's going to be live on Access TV. So if you have Access TV, I don't have Access TV, but if you have Access TV on your cable provider or satellite, you can watch it live. I don't know. Pacific, I think it's at 5. Eastern is definitely at 8 o'clock. I will probably double check anyway on New Japan World to see if it will be live. But last year, it wasn't live on New Japan World. I had to wait till the next day to watch it, pretty much, because I wasn't going to stay up till like 1 a.m. to watch it when they re-aired it. So if you only...
don't sound like a very hardcore fan.
I just can't stay up that late to watch wrestling.
Neither can I.
I gotta watch it the next day when I'm doing laundry.
That's fair.
So if you only have New Japan World, you can watch it on New Japan World, but you'll have to watch it on Sunday. You won't be able to watch it live. But if you have Access TV, then you can watch it live, 8 o'clock Eastern, I believe 5 o'clock Pacific. Oh, you aren't streaming on my birthday. When's your birthday? Is it this weekend? Because I don't stream Saturday and Sundays. So is it this Saturday and Sunday, Owen? And are you turning 12 or are you turning 11? Because I know he said he was 11.
And the mom in me has this entire time been like, oh my God, Owen can't watch The Invitation. It's too...
Owen, don't watch The Invitation. You're 11.
The mom in me, because I have we have a 9-year-old, and she can't watch any of that stuff. Not because we wouldn't let her necessarily, but more like she can't
deal with it.
She can't deal with it. And
Owen might be tough. He might be able to deal
I
with
feel like Owen will be good, but I'm worried. The mom in me is
No Mercy fan says it's hard to watch Japanese wrestling. It's kind of frustrating. I always get confused with the times. I still haven't figured it out as much as
you definitely have not figured it out.
I'll be like, oh yeah, it's tomorrow, and then I'm like, holy crap, it was today.
It was today, yeah. I can't even tell you how many times that's happened. It's really funny.
You think I would have figured out the time difference by now, but they're like, what, 12 hours ahead or something like that. I
have
know.
a friend who lives in Seattle, and I always forget what time it is. It's like 3 hours before
I still
us,
haven't nailed Pacific time.
Yeah, like I still don't.
It's like 3 hours or 4 hours.
Yeah,
I'm
really bad at that stuff.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine trying to figure out Japan. So.
Oh, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. And you are not good.
I'm not good. I'm just not good with numbers in general and math and stuff like that. Can I? No. I wonder if I have to break these. I just thought of this. Do I have to maybe? Can I take this companion cube, sort of bounce it so that it hits the aperture camera, I don't know. August 2nd, and he's turning 12. Oh, okay, sweet. August 2nd. Well, I'll have to try to remember that. Or you can always remind me as we get closer.
7 p.m. See? Yeah.
It's 7 p.m. there. Okay, sweet. I'm kind of jealous of Pacific time.
It's so silly, but I kind of get that.
Right?
I'm always like,
Because look, it's 7 p.m. right now for him. So that means for us is, I gotta check the time. It's 10 o'clock. So when
3 hours, yeah.
when I end, it will only be 9. And he was like, well, that was fun watching Be Better Gamer. I still have about 3 hours.
3 hours.
I can watch some stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Because a lot of events are geared towards late night Easter time. You know, so...
he's using military.
It's 21:06, so that means it is... If it's 21:06,
I'm
it's
terrible at military time.
9:06.
That's not...
So he's an hour behind us.
Hour, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Is that right?
Hour...
21, so 12 plus 9, that's 21, right? 12 plus 9 is... No, yeah, 12 plus 9 is 21. Sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I was right. First try.
Yeah, first try. I'm
First
impressed.
try. You know why I kind of know military time?
Because your dad was in the military?
Well, no, he probably didn't even know military time, let's be honest. Because video games.
Really?
Yeah, because sometimes a lot of the video games...
It always comes back to video games.
A lot of the video games would only use military time. When you had to, like, set the date and time and stuff like that. Okay, sweet. Yeah, remind me as it gets closer. Because we can do a little birthday shout-out for you.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Here we go. I gotta rush. And this... I remember this puzzle being tricky. Because this one... Now this is more about the movements. About running to getting to a certain spot faster. So you don't get murked by the balls that are shooting. The energy balls. And the companion cube kind of becomes your, like, meat shield, if you will. If you think about it.
That's awful. You're ruining the companion cubes. But go watch that theory, because I do think that...
Yeah, go watch the theory for game theory. I guess just put Portal. I don't know if he did. I think he did do other Portal theories about, like,
they're worthwhile watching. Most of them, I'd say. I'm not the biggest fan of game theorists, but I do think that he's got a lot of really fun ones that I really enjoy watching a lot of those videos.
Yeah,
so,
I feel like he's lost a step over the years, or not over the years, but maybe over the last year or two.
I haven't really watched a lot of
he's
his
gotten
stuff.
bigger.
But that tends to happen to a lot of people.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's gonna happen to me, right?
You're gonna sell out.
I'm just gonna sell out. Only talk about WWE and talk about how awesome it is always.
You're not gonna talk about New Japan.
Never gonna talk about New Japan. Like, oh, what did you think of the G1 Climax? Oh, I didn't watch it.
Did you watch this week's episode of NXT? No, I'm not really watching NXT anymore because it's not WWE proper.
Because I've kind of sold out. Nah. WWE 2K, they really want me to review their game for them. Here's another room.
Ooh. Oh my god, did you see? Okay, wait.
Hold on, I'm moving the portal so we can see the drawings.
But are you seeing? Yeah.
Oh, is that...
Our founder.
Is that him? Already? In this one?
It says our founder. Oh. Isn't this so cool? This is why I wanted to do this one first.
I didn't realize it was the Girls of Aperture Science. September 1983. Love it.
That's so funny.
And it's also like it's very subversive if you think about it, because again, in 2007, no one was really making a big deal about female protagonists, female antagonists, and they threw in this little calendar, the Girls of Aperture Science. And
also, I feel like too, they make a lot of like very like subversive sort of jokes, and there's a lot of like, you can tell that there's a lot of sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I guess sexism.
Oh yeah, definitely. In the way he talks to her, the way what's his name?
But it's so good because it's like it's reflecting back to a time, you know, where that was very common.
Yeah.
It was very.
I mean, that's what Mad Men was all about. The whole show, you know, that's probably
why I was never really interested in watching Mad Men. Sorry, I hope no one's a Mad.
Because they were like, "Hey, sweet cheeks, go make me those ads or whatever."
No,
I don't know. I didn't watch the show
either. It was more like make me a martini because women can't make ads.
If you want this promotion, you're gonna have to sleep with me, kind of deal. Yeah. But John Hamm was in it. You like John Hamm?
I do like John Hamm. He's easy on the eyes, but other than that, I mean, yeah, okay.
Well, but but the thing is, I think it was also kind of a thing where GLaDOS figured out she was the smartest person in the room. And it's different when it's a woman figuring out she's the smartest person in the room because...
Was she?
Well, no, I'm talking about GLaDOS.
Oh, GLaDOS. Okay, yes, got it.
I forget the name of who actually became GLaDOS.
I forgot.
But she, figured out she was useful and important, but she didn't step up to that role. Now, when an AI figures out they're the most important person in the room, they're the most intellectual, it's like, well, I'm just taking over.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing where yes, and women definitely feel that struggle a lot more, but I think also it's human nature to sort of, sometimes you second guess yourself and you're like, oh, I know I'm smart, but I don't want to overstep my boundary. I don't want to overstep my place. And that's definitely something that women struggle with a lot more. Oh, but, even sometimes I felt that in my life. It's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't speak out because I can get in trouble, even though I knew I was probably the one who had the answer for something.
Right.
And it's just so interesting that when they propose the idea that if you leave it up to an AI, they're just going to kill us because they're not going to let anyone control them. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like, are we missing that kind of? Are we kind of missing that as humans?
Oh, no. No. It's just some of us have it more than others.
No, but I mean, like, are we missing that part where, like, talking about YouTube, and, like, I always say YouTube, Twitch, now is the time where people are in control of sort of their destiny. And they don't have to listen to someone tell them, oh, you're not good enough, you'll never make it. It's like, screw you, I'm going to make my own YouTube channel, and I'm going to show you I can make it. Because I'm going to put in the time to make it.
We're living in a heck of a time.
We're looking at a time where people can feel empowered to do something. As much as there's a lot of stuff going on where it makes you feel like we're still not in that time,
right? There
still is a lot of things. And I feel like what Aperture Science is kind of doing, even though everything kind of goes wrong and the stuff hits the fan...
And they're like a hot mess.
And they're a hot mess too.
When you uncover like the original testing area, you're just like the stuff that they were warning you about is like, you guys are just taking so many risks. Mm-hmm. This is so like just
don't bring this back, because if you do, it'll be dangerous. But it's also the kind of like it's rapture. It's this sense of, like, let people be free. Are we doomed to be like an AI? Are we doomed to that if we're allowed to be free, do we only know how to destroy? Because that's what we always default. And we create these narratives, obviously. An AI is not writing this story. It'd be funny what an AI would actually think. But it's like, are we doomed to... If we do sort of realize our full potential, are we only doomed to destroy ourselves faster? Because that's what the AI does, And it's kind of like even darker to think about that. But that's also kind of what I love about this game.
That's the problem. Is like, AI can destroy us, but like, who created the AI?
They did a test recently, and I totally thought about Portal. They did a test recently where. They have these deep learning AIs where you give it stuff and it can sort of.
I'm so excited about your explanation about this very like scientific process. I'm like, wait for it. So you give it stuff to learn. You feed it images and a database, and that's the only database it learns from. So that's all it knows, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like teaching them just one language, so it thinks that's the only language that exists, right? As opposed to like, we're going to give this AI all the languages in the world. So what they did was they took two different AIs. One that they gave it a bunch of positive images, butterflies, kittens, cats, children playing in the field. And then they gave another AI basically all these like threads and posts from this very horrible Reddit forum, which I don't even remember the name of because I don't go to Reddit. We're not going to mention it.
And we're not going to mention it.
We don't want Owen to go there.
Yeah, we don't want Owen going there and getting corrupted. But it was basically like, that's all it learned from, right? Yeah. So then, and this is what I thought was kind of brilliant, they gave both AIs Rorschach tests. And if you don't know what the Rorschach test is, it's basically those ink blots, and then they basically ask you, like, what does this look like to you? And if you're a sane person, you'll think, oh, a butterfly. If there's something wrong with you, you might think, oh, a guy's stabbing his wife. Like something like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean to bring that up just because we're here playing together.
Help!
But so of course they gave the one AI that was normal and fine. What do you think this is? Butterfly, school bus, this and that. They gave the AI the Reddit, and they referenced a lot of the stuff they read and saw, and even stuff they didn't read and see, but just even more horrific images.
Nope.
From that Rorschach. And they basically pretty much confirmed, because it wasn't about the AI. It's 11:16 p.m. 16 p.m. in Japan. Oh, okay. That make wait, 11:16. No, it has to be 11:16 a.m. a.m. in Japan. Japan.
You're getting to that point in the evening where you can barely talk.
I can barely speak.
Yeah.
But they basically confirmed, and
I love Japanese food.
It's not the AI that we have to worry about because we gave it the bad images. It's basically, this is how we operate. If you teach someone hate and violence, that's all they're going to know. And that's all they're going to see. And they basically broke it down with computers. And I thought about Aperture.
Yeah.
I thought about Portal.
Yeah.
I thought about, they were making GLaDOS.
I'm thinking about the world.
They were making GLaDOS to be this testing machine where it was okay to kill these humans.
Right.
And just keep testing. And when she got bigger and stronger and more powerful, it was like, we gotta kill all the humans.
Yeah.
That's the only logical assumption.
She's not wrong.
WWE No Mercy fan loves it when the AI, he knows what the AI is going to do next, like in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 or No Mercy, and reap the benefits. It's always good to feel smarter than a computer,
when you
right?
feel smarter than the AI, it works. But we're gonna be on till midnight? Question mark?
Yeah, we're gonna be on till midnight, which in our time, we got about 2 more hours.
Yeah,
about 2 more hours.
Give or
I think
take.
we'll be able to complete the game by then.
Yeah.
I think I have to use the cube to shoot this one, or actually,
yeah. But even I feel like when a guy like Tesla is like, hey guys, we got to be worried about what AI is doing right now.
And it was from video games too. They created that AI to, I think it was either League of Legends or Dota. It was something. No, it was more complex. I think it was like StarCraft, like competitive StarCraft 2, a deep learning AI. Darn it, I died there. A deep learning AI for competitive StarCraft 2, which is way more advanced than an AI playing chess. And they were able to compete and beat top tier pro people. They were like, yeah, this is not good.
Yeah.
This is not good.
My favorite use of AI, since WWE No Mercy fan said his favorite use. My favorite use is when, and I don't know that they're actually doing this. I think it's sort of like a funny tongue-in-cheek thing that people do. But they say that they make like an AI watch like 1,000 hours of just like, teen movies, and then they make the AI write a script based on the 1,000 hours. Like, I think that's
brilliant.
The best way to use
brilliant.
AI.
Yeah.
And actually, recently, I think it was like yesterday or something, somebody made an AI watch 1,000 hours of Bob Ross, then made the and then made the AI write a script for a Bob Ross episode where
That's
I think
brilliant.
that one of the lines were, I went to school with this mountain. And then it was something like, the cloud is not your friend. And I thought it was just so brilliant.
No Mercy says, you think we would learn after the Matrix came out. No more artificial. And that's the thing. It's like, with a game like Portal,
they were using us as batteries in that movie. Owen, if you haven't seen The Matrix...
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one. Don't go to the first... The ones after that, just forget.
It's like Saw. It just kind of went down after
It goes downhill after
Oh, is that one closed? Oh, I gotta backtrack.
Yeah, you'd think that after The Matrix, we'd be like, this is...
But that's the thing. See, we got to do that with our AI. We got to teach them how to write movies and do silly stuff. If we're teaching them how to get more advanced than us, then that's... I don't know. That worries me. That's exactly what Aperture did.
Yeah.
They taught an AI to get better at everything than them, and then the AI took over. And that's usually the recurring theme, like in Matrix, like in a lot of like iRobot, a lot of these movies about it, and like
iRobot is to a lesser. I wasn't crazy about that movie.
But wasn't it like based on a novel originally?
I think you're thinking of I Am Legend.
Okay, maybe I am. Because they both had Will Smith in it.
They both had Will Smith.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen one Will Smith movie. You've seen them all.
I know The Matrix was on Netflix a while back. I don't know if it's still on. It might be one of those movies that was on for a little bit, then they took it off. So you would have to double check. But I remember The Matrix was on it, and I wanted to rewatch it because I hadn't seen it in a long time.
The original Matrix.
I love the first Matrix.
Beautiful.
One of my favorite movies.
Yes, it's beautiful.
One of my favorite movies.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Is this like a theme we're sort of sensing? We just love these sort of like movies that deal with AIs going out of control and crazy. Like, why is that such a powerful theme, you think?
Because it all comes back to humans. It's why sci-fi is so big. To me, I think sci-fi, when it's done correctly. Yeah, he said, yeah. Matrix 1 is the only one worth watching.
Yeah, it's totally the only one worth
Absolutely.
watching. Yeah, oh yeah.
I think it always goes back to humanity. It's almost like how the best Pixar movies have humans sort of in the background.
All of them but cars.
All of them but cars, right? Yeah. Like the Pixar movies that are the best, that are the most memorable, there are always humans in the universe, right? I think it comes back in sci-fi. You know, we have a character like the Doctor, we have aliens, but it always comes back to our humanity and what makes us human. Mm-hmm. The Doctor is always challenging human beings whenever he meets them, you know, and always trying to protect human beings also. And you know, when I think it really does come back to, you know, how we talk to each other and how we act. And when we talk about machines and how we treat, actually one of the movies I want to watch is what is it? Ex Machina?
Ex Machina?
Yeah, the guy with the one with the guy from the Star Wars movie. Not Diego Luna, the other guy.
Which Star Wars movie? One of the prequels or one of the later ones? Or one of the new ones?
No, one of the new ones. The first one that came out. From the new ones.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Isaac, he's Cuban, but he has like two first names.
The guy who played the pilot.
Yeah, Isaac. I'm gonna look at
Isaac Clarke?
No,
that's Dead Space. That's Dead Space.
He's got two. Wow, did you just quote?
That's his name from Dead Space. Isaac Clarke.
I'll tell you right now. He's got like two. Isaac Oscar.
Oh, Owen wants to know what's our favorite Pixar movie, by the way. Here we go.
That's a tough one. Okay, it's immediately popping to the forefront. I think it used to be Incredibles.
Incredibles used to be my number one.
I want to say it's WALL-E.
Yeah.
Which is also about AI.
It is. So Incredibles used to be my number one, and Inside Out is my number one.
That's such a like, because the thing that you probably don't know about Be Better Gamer is that he is such a dad. You are such a dad, and that movie is such a dad movie.
That movie is not just a dad movie,
in like a good way.
That movie is a movie about growing up.
It is, and it
sucks.
Don't grow up, Owen.
Don't grow up. Owen, stay 11 forever.
I think
because they would rather die in a fire than become a burden to you. She's like baiting you, and it's funny because I think if you stay here for a while, she keeps like telling you, look at the little symbol here.
That's so funny.
I think it tells you, and there were achievements. I think.
And the thing is, it's like she starts off with telling you like, take care of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to the question. I feel like back in the day it was The Incredibles, and that really struck a chord. Incredibles struck such a chord with me, which is so funny because I just rewatched it recently because we knew that the second one was coming out. WALL-E, see? What?
Yeah, WALL-E's good.
WALL-E's
in my top 5. Top 5 Pixar.
Because also, like, I really feel like that's where we're heading. We are gonna
WALL-E nailed it.
We are gonna destroy the Earth, and then like a little friendly robot is gonna help us rebuild it. Right?
Hopefully.
I hope. Maybe AI is going to save us at the end of the day.
And that had another AI that was like, I'm programmed to keep these humans alive. I will do whatever it takes.
Eee.
Congratulations.
You know, and then also with Manuel.
Manuel,
yeah, manual control, Manuel. Well, I remember when I saw Wall-E, and I'm not into the Oscars as much as I used to be, but at the time when we saw Wall-E...
Oh, he says that he saw Ex Machina. I want to see that one. He saw it in the movie theaters.
Ooh, okay.
I'm dying to see that one. Yeah, we gotta add it to the list.
Yeah, it's a list. Never-ending list. Let me pull out my scroll.
Let me pull out. Here's your quill.
Yeah. Add it to the list. Incredibles 2, we haven't seen Incredibles 2.
No, don't spoil it.
But we are super excited about Incredibles 2.
Because we were such big fans. But you know what's funny? Because like watching the first one was definitely like, oh, I'm so excited.
It got better.
It did, but also like I was noticing like definitely like
we needed part two.
The focus was a lot on the male characters. So when I saw that the second movie was going to be about sort of the wife getting the, like, she's the main attraction and that she's the one that they want to come back, I was like, I am so here for this. Because when you saw the first movie, you were like, holy crap, she's the best.
She's the best one.
She's the best one. She has the coolest superhero.
I mean, super strength is kind of overrated as a superpower.
It absolutely is.
In comic books in general, it's like every time, I remember as a kid, people were like, what would be your superpower? And then like every time one kid would say super strength, I'd be like, that's it? Just super strength? Oh, I'm just gonna be really strong?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
I'll be really fast so I can spin the world around and turn it and like, move time backwards or something. Or go into
I want
speed
telekinetic
vortex.
powers.
Oh yeah.
I want to be able to move stuff with my mind and hear people's thoughts.
No Mercy Fan says, I love to see how humans evolved in space. And their electric carts that flew around everywhere and no one could walk, LOL. I mean, that's our future now.
That's our future now.
That's our future now.
That's
with
where we're
people
heading.
Getting stuck and not moving around, not being mobile, glued to the screens. As much as we enjoy the benefit of streaming and playing
we went for
stuff,
a hike today.
We did go for a hike today. I did get a follow for support. I didn't catch it, but that's a bot. So
maybe that person's really into support.
No, I don't know. Maybe. But thank you for the follow. You're inching me closer to 200, bot. And Wall-E, and Game Theory has another theory about what they're drinking.
Yes, we won't give it away, even though you gave it away
earlier.
No, you gave it away earlier. I would do no such thing.
Oh, okay, it was all me. But yeah. When I saw Inside Out, I think it is because I saw it, as an adult with kids, and also after like,
oh shoot, I forgot that.
We've seen every Pixar movie. Oh, with the exception of The Good Dinosaur, we missed that one. And Cars.
We still haven't seen.
We haven't seen Good Dinosaur because that came out in a very crowded year of movies.
That was that movie's fault.
Yeah, it was that movie's fault. But we haven't seen Good Dinosaur, Cars 3. I've seen Cars 2, which was actually better than Cars 1. I haven't seen Cars 3, Good Dinosaur, and Incredibles 2, but we've basically seen all of them. Yeah. But to see Inside Out, my first Pixar movie I ever saw was a kid in the theaters watching Toy Story.
Does Coco count?
Coco counts.
Coco
That's
counts,
Pixar, yeah.
Which is an amazing movie.
I love Coco. That's top 5.
Good.
Instantly.
So
top 5.
Good.
That movie.
So good. I cried a lot at the end of that movie. Which is not saying a lot for me, but I feel I feel like you almost cried, and that was a big deal because he's a robot. Speaking of
I am a robot.
He is a robot. He never cries.
Does anybody know how to change your name on Twitch? I think you have to email them and make a new account or something like that. Because, actually, I think you have to request it via email. I think if you go into your settings, there's an option to request a new username, and I think you have to email them for some reason, and they can change it for you. I don't think you can do it on your own. At least I think they still have that feature. I don't know if they do, but I did have to change my name because before I had just a regular generic like
El Generico?
Yeah, regular generic name, and then when I knew I wanted to do the Be Better Gamer brand, but I didn't want to switch over the emails. Or I didn't want to like create a whole new profile. I got it switched, but I think I had to email them.
Okay. That's the more you know.
The more you know. But yeah, Wall-E's great. One of my favorites.
And speaking of AI,
What's another one? What else you got?
Moon.
Ooh, Moon. Moon is the movie I think about the most when I think about Portal. I think about Moon.
Yes. You gotta watch Moon.
With Sam Rockwell killing it all by himself.
And there's AI in that
There's
one.
AI. There's a lot of stuff in that movie.
There's
This
a
movie's
lot of
great.
really good stuff in that movie.
Owen says he loved The Good Dinosaur. Coco was the movie he cried the most while watching.
If you
Coco's
got,
good.
that's like a good indicator if you're like a real human. If you don't cry during Coco, during the and you know which scene I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
If you don't cry during that scene, you're probably not a human.
You're probably an AI.
You're probably an AI. You gotta
look,
get that checked
here's
out.
another secret area. Another hand. The handprint. I wonder where he's getting this ink from. Or he could do the handprint or the
It's
paint.
probably everything's just so dusty. It just goes like that.
More help. But he's hiding from GLaDOS. She's watching you. Not never, but now. That's one of the Aperture's slogans. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
It means that you can have courage and still be afraid. That's I've heard that before. That's not just
because you're gonna die anyway. Because I'm GLaDOS. I'm gonna murder you.
Or we're afraid of what we're creating, but we're gonna keep going.
Okay, that makes more sense. There you go. See, that's why she's here. She makes more sense than I do. I feel like you are probably clearing up a lot of stuff that I probably mess up on when I do my streams.
No, I don't think because I do the same thing, and the thing is, it's like when I shoot my videos for YouTube, I'll say something, and I thought I said everything
did I
correctly.
say that right? I'm gonna keep going.
And it's like, was that right? And then you go back and you're like, well, I sound like an idiot, but
I died.
I think it's normal. But you do that a lot.
I do that a lot. Yeah, I do that a lot.
So
I do that a
it's
lot.
not like it's...
Moana's another emotional movie for sure. I'll be the
talk
first to
about
admit that when the grandma passed away, I teared up. Oh, that's one of the best parts.
Yeah.
That's one of the most emotional parts of that movie.
Moana, for me...
So good. I got chills watching that movie.
So, just full disclosure about Moana. Moana is one of those... I'm going through a lot of... Like, I'm trying to fix myself as a human. Trying to make myself a better person.
Be better gamer.
I'm trying to be a better person, right? Mm-hmm. So, Moana for me was when I realized, like, oh my God, it is okay when you fail. Because I went through, like, the first half of my life thinking that you just do stuff and everything works out and you are good at everything or you're not. Which is a terrible way to live your life, because if you're, as you grow up, you realize you're supposed to fail.
Yes.
That's how you get better, right?
Mm-hmm.
I sit before you, a 31-year-old woman, and until I reached, I think, like 28 maybe, it wasn't until that was when I learned that lesson. And for me, Moana, the first 10 times I saw that movie, yes, I watched it 10 times because I have 2 daughters who, like,
They fell in love with the
movie, which I totally get it. It's like it's a little brown girl like they are. Yeah. So for them it was like, oh my God,
you know? Relate.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually the little one looks exactly like Moana.
Our
like
youngest looks just
we've
like
had
Moana.
People stop us in the street and say
she doesn't want to be here for Halloween.
I know, which I'm so angry
Missed
about.
opportunity.
And then also like
the hair,
Maui, right?
Yeah. And I know
her dad is literally Maui.
And I'm into wrestling, so I know who The Rock is. Oh crap!
But I watched Moana the first 10 times, and I wept every single time. I wept. It wasn't like I'm crying. It's very subtle. I wept every time I saw the scene where Maui leaves, and she has to like put the ship back together herself when her grandma comes back as the stingray. I couldn't see that scene without just completely weeping, because it's just one of those things. It's like, it's not something that a lot of people talk about when you're a kid, that you can fail.
It's okay.
It's okay if you fail, and you just gotta like build your little ship and then try again, Keep
going.
Which I thought
Grandma's watching you.
It was something that affected me so profoundly. And yeah, it was a little brown, it was like a little brown girl. So for me, it was like so exciting for my kids to have, like, who did we have growing up?
No one.
I guess you can say Pocahontas, but I mean, let's be real.
We didn't
Pocahontas
have anyone.
stunk as a movie.
I remember.
It was awful.
I remember.
Shots fired.
You know, I used to be really into comics. You know, obviously cartoons, animation, anime, video games, and I remember when I was like 20 something, someone asked me like, "Who's your favorite comic book character?" And I was like, "Oh, Captain America." And then they asked me, "Don't you have any like Latin superheroes to look up to?" And I was like, there isn't any.
Yeah.
And it didn't. And then like I went through this sort of like moment where I realized video games, movies, comic books, I never had someone I can look at that looked like me. And even when we play the wrestling games, I always talk about making my hair. How like making curly hair is one of the hardest things to do in video games because most video games don't do curly hair.
Because it's really hard to do curly hair.
It's really hard to do curly hair.
And look
but
at
it's like,
Moana's hair. Moana's hair is so beautiful.
But then I can never really relate to the avatars. I can never really relate, and like, yeah, maybe I can get my skin tone, I make the wrestler, but I still don't really relate, you know, and it's like, and when you do see, you know, Latin people represented in video games, they're always short-haired. You know, they're always like, you know, oh, this is Gomez. He's in, you know, it's like, come on, like I'm not.
Always a detective of
yeah,
some sort.
it's like or a soldier or something like that.
That's all we can be as soldiers and angry detectives.
And yeah, and you know, it's just like, and yeah, and watching my kids watch Moana, I was like, man, I wish I had this.
Right,
you know, I wish I had, and we didn't. We're starting to get that now. I mean, Coco, watching that little boy in Coco, I was like, oh man,
I want to
be that little boy.
So I am not. I'm not Mexican. I don't have a Mexican heritage, but I grew up in a place in New York City where I was surrounded by all types of Latinos. So for me, I understand. And the thing is, I grew up with Pedro Infante. I grew up with Cantinflas. I grew up watching a lot of Mexican television because if you're Latino in the United States and your grandma, your mom watches. Most of the time, they're going to be watching Univision, and all the stuff on Univision is Cantinflas, Pedro Infante, and you have a lot of exposure to Mexican culture.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, oh
because
my God,
like,
this is so cool.
Because they're also like the biggest out of all the Latin cinema. They're like one of the biggest.
Yes,
I would say.
Yes, because they're so close to the U.S. and everything. But I'm sorry, he's.
Yeah, No Mercy fan says, I watched it because The Rock's in it, of course, being a wrestling fan, but Dale fell into an amazing movie thanks to him being in it. The Rock can do anything in my eyes, my childhood hero.
He can do anything.
He is. I love The Rock so much. My grandma passed away 2 weeks before I saw Moana, and it really hit home for me. Such a perfect... highly recommend seeing Coco, also No Mercy fan, because that also deals with grandma, sort of, in a way.
You're gonna lose it. You're not gonna be...
But Moana's so good.
Moana does that really beautifully.
And Coco has a wrestling, a nod to wrestling culture too in there because wrestling is very big with Lucha Libre. And I popped for that hard when I saw I remember that. I was like, oh, it's El Santo. Like, you know, it's just really cool.
Well, you just gave it away.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like integral to the movie, but yeah, but yeah, that's the same thing I thought when watching Coco. It's like, yeah, you know, I'm not Mexican, but like I understood a lot of the references in the culture, you know, with their spirit guides. You know, and so even Final Fantasy takes some of that stuff. Super Best Kyle has followed. Oh, we missed it again. We're missing all these notifications.
I'm sorry, guys.
We suck at this. Super Best Kyle.
I have like contacts though.
Thank you so much for following Super Best Kyle. You are the Super Best Kyle. You're the Super Best Kyle that's ever followed this channel. Haven't seen Coco yet. I don't think I've had any other Kyles. But he's the best one.
He's the best one.
Thank you so much for the follow. I hope you appreciate it. Haven't seen Coco yet. I'll definitely check it out. I love Lucha Underground. I hope they put the new season on Netflix too. Yeah, Lucha Underground is great. I think you would dig Lucha Underground.
I think I would dig it too.
Because
I'm digging. Can we talk about Glow for a second? I know
Glow
we're all
is
over
really
the place.
good.
Glow is so good. I'm so into Glow, and I don't like wrestling.
I'm bringing her into the wrestling. Glow. What else
Glow
did you like?
Glow is fantastic. Did I like something else?
I mean, the play that's about wrestling.
Yes, I directed Be Better Gamer in a staged reading of the elaborate entrance of Chad Deity.
It's a play about wrestling. It's the only play about wrestling.
It's the only play about wrestling.
Only play about wrestling.
It's a play about wrestling, which is so cool. And so I actually directed you in that because he plays essentially a Puerto Rican kid who
became a wrestler,
who grew up to be a wrestler, and he was sort of the What's the terminology?
He was like you know, the workhorse. He was like think of like, you know, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero back in WCW, where everyone knew they were the best wrestlers, but they weren't wrestling at the top of the card. They were just losing to other people. He was like that. No Mercy fan says Glow is awesome. We just started watching season 2. We watched like what, 3 episodes?
I think we watched 3 episodes, and they're like, those episodes are like potato chips because you're just like,
half an hour.
Apparently it's a really short season too.
Really?
Like I saw a few people complaining on Facebook, and I was like, oh no, I don't want it to be over because it really is so good. It's so well written, and of course, most of the cast is female, which just makes me so happy in my heart, and it's a very diverse cast. And what I love about it is that they do deal with a lot of negative stereotypes in wrestling, which is why I tend to struggle, and that's what Chad Deity is about also, which is why I
like that they do that though, and you know, it's the kind of thing, it's like, and this is why I totally get it, because. And the same thing with video games. Like, video games aren't perfect. Wrestling's not perfect. There's a lot of bad stuff in the things I enjoy. But I feel like if you love something, you can look at it and say, this is what makes it great. This is what makes it awful. You know what I mean? You can be able to say, oh yeah, I love this about wrestling, but I also hate how they do this.
Yeah.
You know, and especially
you've gotten really good at that because you married me, probably.
But even before that, I remember during the Attitude Era when Sable was coming out and flashing her boobs, I was like, I just want to watch the dudes wrestle. Why do we? And then I'm like, where's Alundra Blaze? Where did she go? Because she was really cool. I'm gonna go watch these Japanese female wrestlers. You know, even at a younger age, you know, obviously. A lot of guys who watch wrestling at that time didn't have the same viewpoints as me, and I get that and I understand that. But it's the same thing with video games. It's the same thing with like with the glorification of violence in video games. You know, it's like that's something that I don't vibe with. But I feel like you could, you know, so offensive, like the welfare queen. Exactly. And the fact that that's played by
Karma.
Karma, but I'm always forgetting her actual
I always forget
real
her name too, yeah.
But the fact that that's, you know, Awesome Kong, you know, that's one of the only female wrestlers that actually wrestled professionally, and knowing her story,
right,
knowing why she was held back in WWE and why she had to go to Impact Wrestling, and the fact that she's playing this character, Welfare Queen, it's like working on so many. That was brilliant casting, I thought, and she's great on the show, and I really like how she's already taken more of a prominent role.
Yes, I'm loving this season.
I think
with
Jackson.
her.
I think it's Karma Jackson. I think that's her last name. Yeah, that's her. That's her, and it's you know, that it's so crazy. You know, she looks different without her hair tied up and without
Kia
Stevens. I thought
Kia
her
Michelle
name.
Stevens.
There you go. That's her real name. I always forget her. I always call her Karma because that was her wrestling name.
She is Karma. Yeah.
But Kia Stevens is her real name. And No Mercy fan says, I knew she looked kind of super familiar. Yeah.
She's so good on it.
She's so good.
I'm so mad. Okay, this is what I will say this. I am so mad at all of these wrestlers coming out of the woodwork with their amazing acting abilities.
Well, see, and that's the thing. That's the thing that I feel like...
Which makes sense because I think the way I talk about wrestling is that it's the lowest form of theater,
but
right?
It's still theater.
It's still theater. No, I'm not taking anything away from it, but it is sort of like
it's performance art.
It is.
It's performance art, and that's why I get mad at wrestling sometimes, because I feel like some of the people in charge of wrestling, call Vince McMahon, they lessen it even more. Absolutely. So. They lessen it even more so, and then that's why everyone has this view of what wrestling is, that it's this lowest form, because a lot of the stuff they put out there is trash.
It is.
But if you see it's the same thing with movies. There's high art movies, and then there's like the trashiest of trash movies. There's Saw 10, you know, and then like There Will Be Blood. You know what I mean? It's just like there's the movies that you can look at and say, yeah, this is art. And then there's movies you're like, this is killing brain cells.
This is garbage.
It's the same thing with video games. There's Portal. There's Portal 2. There's these games that make you think. There's these games that talk about broader issues and become something that is very artful and insightful. And there's the little clicker games that you just press one button over and over again for 1,000 times, and it's just like, you know, it's you know, and that's I feel like, but that's art in general. You know, art in general has like, it's that very romanticized view of it. You know,
Yeah.
Victor Hugo. And when I talk about romanticism, you know, with Victor Hugo, the fact that there's like the
Okay.
I listened in theater for a little bit, but you know, there's the most, you know, best, perfect, purest form of something, but then there's also that most disgusting, evil form of that same thing, you know, and that's wrestling, that's video games, that's movies. And I think if you're a true fan, if you really appreciate those things, you're able to say, yes, that exists. You know, yes, the good exists and the bad exists.
That's true,
You know?
yeah, because I can't stand it when people are like, no, I like this, so nothing it does is
Yeah.
wrong. And I'm like,
I've been watching wrestling my whole life, and when someone says, oh, wrestling is trashy, I'm like, yeah, I kind of get that. But then I'm also like, but have you seen the non-trashy wrestling? Like,
I would if it existed.
well, it's the same thing with, like, you know, people who are like, oh, wrestling sucks, and
Or
then
all video games are garbage. Or video games are they just kill your brain cells. And, you know, I hate when people do that.
when they just generalize something. I knew she looked super. Ivory should have been in it too, since she was an OG from the Real Glow. You know, I was maybe. I mean, I haven't seen the rest of season 2, so I'm still holding out that we'll maybe see some more cameos from some other wrestlers. But I was kind of thinking the same thing. I thought they were gonna do some more cameos for female wrestlers. In season 1, we got a lot of male wrestling cameos. We had Alex Riley, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian. Who else showed up? John Morrison, I think was he was in the first episode. He was the trainer, and then the trainer was fired all of a sudden, which I thought was kind of like weird. Like, why did you fire the trainer right away? But yeah, here we go. That's the Switch. I got so caught up talking about the stuff
That's the idea.
that I've forgotten how to do this.
Yeah, you're trying to get me to be a wrestling fan, like, little by little.
But see, it's the same thing with video games. It would have been completely different if I started you out. When you met me and we were playing video games, it wasn't BioShock that we started with. You know what I mean? Or like Condemned or Portal. Like, if it was like something like,
Oh my god, which is the one that's like super, just like, was it Witcher? Where like literally like you're like tearing clothes off of people.
No, that's not Witcher, because I haven't played The Witcher yet.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm
You talking about God of War, where he's ripping people's heads off?
no, it's like the clothes thing specifically.
You pulling their clothes off?
Yeah. I can't remember. Okay, I'll stop because I can't remember.
I don't know what game you're talking about. Can I just jump and touch this? I think I have to do that. And then I think I have to be like super quick with it. Gotta do this.
It's past my bedtime.
And then we do this. Oh no, that's super fast. Shoot, I'm forgetting how to do this puzzle. John Morrison did a great job in Glow. Yeah, he was there briefly, but he did do a good job. Oh, I know what I gotta do. Wait, hold up.
Wait a minute.
I'm blanking on this one. I know this one. I know I have to get over there. I thought I could go over there like via warp.
Maybe you can fall somehow. Is there somewhere to fall? Because I do think that I feel like you would have to jump. I feel like I'm remembering that you jump.
Yeah, I do jump because I think what happens is.
Oh, maybe if you put the portal up there. Oh. Yeah.
This thing, when it opens up, it allows me to jump. And,
Yeah?
But I went out of it, so now I am like stuck a little bit. Oh man, how did I do this one? Because I have to get the thing to shoot this. Oh wait, I can just press it from here? There we go. Okay.
Wow.
So I can press that.
That's really embarrassing.
So we want this one to time it perfectly with the shot That's what it is. So that's gonna go. So that's gonna come through there. Then we want it to go there. Okay.
Sure.
And then it's gonna have to go in there. That's what we want. That's ideally what we want. So when it does that, we're gonna have to shoot the portals there and like there. I'm probably making this way more complicated than it should be, but that's the beauty of this game. You can come up with so many different solutions. Here we go. This is it. Okay. Bam. Bam. Nailed it. I did it. Now I got the platform moving. Now I can jump down with the platform.
Totally.
See? I nailed it.
I remember.
That's probably not the best way to do it. But see, that's what I love about this game, is that it gives you the freedom to solve these puzzles. And I think that was also sort of like revolutionary too at the time, and it opened up this whole thing where puzzle solving didn't have to just be like Tetris. You know, it didn't have to be just fitting blocks that fit within each other and boom, that's your puzzle. You know what I mean? It's like, it can be these complex things where you move around in, because all puzzles before this weren't first person. You know, they weren't all, you know, the only thing first person were like shooters, you know? And then here Portal comes along, it's like, no, we're gonna make a, oh, I could have jumped down there. There it is. That's what I could have done. So what I have to do...
I told you. Nobody listens to
So
me.
So this is what I do. We press this. Right.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go through here.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I messed up. Hold on.
Yeah, you did it in the wrong place.
Okay. Here we go.
Here you go.
And then that's orange? Aren't you glad to too slow, too slow. Now I'm stuck down here. It's alright, we'll get it, Here we go. Orange, blue. I always keep, fun fact, when I play this game, I always keep my blue on right trigger and my orange on my left trigger, or I'll get confused.
I'm already confused by what you just said.
Like, I always like make sure I do it on, like, I try to do it on the right side as well as the, like, I'll try to always do, like, if I'm turning left, I'll make orange. It's confusing, I know. I'm probably just making it more confusing. Alright, what do we have to...
You have to do the thing. You have to do the thing with the thing. Wait, I don't know.
Here we go.
You gotta do that, and then you gotta do that, and then you gotta do this. Quick!
Nailed it. There we go.
There we go.
We did it. We did it.
See? And you couldn't have done it without me. Why are you laughing?
It's true. It's true. Couldn't have. Then we're gonna go down here, and then we're going to go back out here. Now this is not a companion cube. This is just a regular cube.
It's a regular old cube with no heart on it.
And if I remember, I don't think we get another companion cube. I think that companion cube is the only one we get.
I think you're right.
All that for that one companion cube. Can you believe that? And then we need a warp over there. So can I jump down anywhere? I can jump down right here. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. But yeah, Glow is great. Glow is really good. We gotta finish it.
Yeah.
Just
Just like everything else on our lists.
we also have like a lot of video games we want to play and
Yeah.
finish. But I think it's gonna be good on Twitch because then we can replay the games we've been meaning to replay. And we could also start playing the other games because there's a long list of games that I kind of want to play with you that I haven't even played. But I'm like, I look at them and I'm like, I think this would be a game that me and Drunken Homemaker should play together and we would love.
Yeah.
Would you be into, so I'm kind of not all that of a fan of playing games for the first time on Twitch because I know a lot of people do it, but I feel like when you're playing a game for the first time, like even right there, like that was very much a moment similar to how you would be playing it the first time. We're like, how do I do this? How do I get through that?
Yeah. I mean, as long as
it's a lot of dead air in that part. You know what I mean? Like,
I disagree. I think it is fun to sort of see somebody experience a game for the first time, as long as you're not obnoxious.
That's true. Yeah.
I feel like some people are just super like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
What? Oh, what's even happening? And it's like, I don't know. Just keep walking, and I guess you'll figure it out. As long as you're not like that person, I feel like it's a totally.
Yeah. I'm not that person. Right?
No, exactly. So that's why I'm like, I feel like it's fine as long as you're not doing that.
I totally messed up over here.
You're just like.
This one's fun. This is actually one of my favorite puzzles, and I always like I know how to do it, but I always mess it up. You have to alternate your shots. So again, we're messing around with the portal, but now we're bringing in timing and accuracy into it. And this is really trippy with the whole like how you're going in and out. I can't even. My brain is like exploding right now. This is why it's like hilarious to me because like I would never be able to play this game like actually with the controller. Here you go.
Flipping his dad.
Here you go. Oh, there you go. And where's the other one? Where's the other? Blue? Yeah.
I don't.
We did it.
I can't even. I don't even know what you just did.
You know they have this in VR now.
That would, like, I'd be throwing up. I'd be like actively like just.
Imagine doing that part in VR.
No, I can't even. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say I get really bad motion sickness. Just from like watching that, I was like.
Oh, don't worry about it, Owen. Don't worry about it. And Owen with the host. Thank you so much, Owen, with the host. Yeah, you gotta help your dad, man. If your dad is anything like me, you better put that Twitch off and go and help me out now.
You have to hear how you like, hey, put down your Kindle. Go do what you gotta do. Hey, focus. Our kids are like really distracted too, so that's I get it.
I try, man. I try to, you know. You'd think I would be better about that because I'm so involved, because I'm a better gamer, and I'm so involved with gaming and all that stuff, and I still struggle. I still struggle to find the balance where my kids aren't getting too distracted with that stuff.
It is hard. We did go on a hike today.
And
I took them to the library today, which is really nice.
Yeah, we're trying.
But
you know, they have a lot more, like you said, you had just the NES growing up. By that point, I had the N64, so I also had the Super Nintendo and the NES, but I really was only just playing one of them.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a Kindle, I didn't have a computer, I didn't have all these things, so I really did have just, like, the one video game console, so, or just if I had several, okay, but then you can only play one game at a time anyway.
Yeah.
So, even back then, it was harder to just get so distracted. Now it's like, oh, I'm done playing my Kindle, now I'm going to play Minecraft. Oh, I'm done playing Minecraft, now I'm going to go watch Netflix. Oh, I'm done watching Netflix, now I'm going to play my 3DS. It's like they can jump from one thing to the other. One thing, I get overwhelmed. It's like, man, like, at one point, like, you know, I'm like kind of a little jealous, but I also like seeing it as an adult. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of glad I don't have these many options and choices.
I feel like I get distracted pretty easily with just with this guy, like just with this, just having this, and I have to be better about it. Actually, we just switched over to a new like phone plan, and then I almost used up all my data just by like checking Instagram and just like checking like Facebook, which is ridiculous to me. It's like why did I use all my data on that? You know, so. I have to be better about it, and I didn't even grow up with that much technology in the house. Even though we did have a nice computer in the house at one point, and you know, my fancy NES. So yeah.
Now, did you ever play any games with your sister on the NES that were like co-op games? Do you remember?
Were there co-op games?
Oh yeah, there was Contra.
No, we definitely didn't play Contra.
No, there was Contra. I mean, you could take turns in Super Mario Brothers 3, I believe.
No, you took turns in the first one.
The first one also, the first one also.
We definitely played Super Mario.
There was some other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 arcade. That one had there was definitely a lot of co-op games. There was a wrestling game, pro wrestling.
No.
There was a few co-op games, but you don't remember playing any co-op stuff with your sister? That's interesting.
Not until later, probably, because later we got like a PS2.
Or no, didn't you say which Silent Hill you played? Silent Hill 1 or 2?
You didn't. 1.
So then that's
2,
a PS1.
1.
Because Silent Hill 2 was PS2.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because Silent Hill is one of your favorite games, right?
It was, yeah, it definitely was because I love scary video games. And actually, a funny story about that, I didn't play it at my house first. I played it because we went to Peru. So I'm half Peruvian.
Oh no, I died.
My mom's Peruvian. So we went to Peru to, meet my family over in Peru and everything. And so when we met my cousin, Sandra, in Lima, Peru, we basically, we were garbage people who didn't go out and do stuff in Peru
and actually
enjoy our vacation. We literally went and locked ourselves in her room and played Silent Hill the entire time because we were all so into it together.
Yeah.
With my cousins. So it was they were 2 female cousins and it was the 2 of us, and we were just this is the best video game that has ever been invented. And we basically and then my mom was I'm gonna go to this part of the country. Do you want to come with us?
Was that the only time you went to Peru?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We stayed there for 3 weeks, but we definitely when we stayed in Lima, we definitely were so we're just playing Silent Hill, right? Which is sad because in retrospect, I was damn it, I should have gone to all these. My mom went to all these different events, and I was I'm gonna stay home and play Silent Hill. So I guess I did go through my little gamer phase, but
here we go. So this is the part where we break free. And this is where the game really shifts. And it's sort of the kind of thing where I remember playing it. The human instinct, the player instinct kicked in where it's well, I don't want to die. Can I escape somehow? So you automatically realize that there are and I just killed myself. I just killed myself.
Literally went right into it. I was what's the plan here?
I looked at the wrong thing.
I was just literally watching you what are you doing?
I was supposed to shoot up there.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
I was just what's going on, buddy?
But I remember playing it, and you get an achievement for just dying. But it's the kind of thing where it's human nature kicks in where you want to survive. But this seems like the moment that breaks Gladys.
We are pleased that you made it through the final challenge where we pretended we were going to kill you. We are very, very happy for your success. So great.
Oh, because they're talking about Owen 316 came back and he said that's the bottom line because Owen said hi. And he said, haha, that's a good one. Or you could say enough is enough and it's time for a change.
All references I get.
So now they're telling you to stay put.
You don't want. I love how she's so you're gonna miss the cake. That's my favorite part of this.
But this is non-powered up GLaDOS. This is still GLaDOS. And if
she's trying to remain hinged.
And it's funny because if you think about the timeline, because it was around the 70s you go into, the 60s and 70s you go into in Portal 2, and you see that when she changed. So this was 1983. So we're only a few years after GLaDOS has kind of taken over. Whereas Portal 2, we flash forward how many years?
Yeah, it's a lot.
And she's grown so much.
And she's I'm running things.
Yeah.
It's
and
really cool.
So it's really cool to see her sort of change herself, even throughout the games. So we're gonna do another one of those jump boosts. We're gonna walk and go down.
Whoa!
You couldn't do that in VR?
No, I'd probably throw up. True story.
Is this a PC game or a console game? You can get it for both. It's available on PC and Steam. You can play it on Mac or PC. I am actually playing it on the Xbox One. I'm playing the 360 version that was part of the Orange Box, and it's backwards compatible with the Xbox One. So I still have all the cool Xbox features. I could pull up my Xbox One guide and all that stuff. But it's also a standalone, just download by itself on the 360. So you can get just Portal. It's called Portal Still Alive, which is the standalone version, or you can get it as part of the orange box. I say get it as part of the orange box
Because then you can play all the other
because then you can
games.
play Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, Half-Life 2 Episode 2. Oh, can you refill my water?
Oh, sure. I think I have to
You can-
filter some water.
So yeah, so I highly recommend if you do get Portal and you haven't played the Half-Life games, get the orange box. But if you've played the Half-Life games, then get Portal just by itself. Because that's how I first played Portal. Was I got the orange box, and I got the orange box because, I wasn't really a PC gamer growing up, only because I never had a good PC to play a lot of the PC games. A lot of my friends, they had all these, like, even back in the day, they had these decked out PCs, and I always had just like your basic computer because that's all we could really afford. My mom, she wasn't about to buy me a PC just for gaming, so I was missing a lot of the really good PC games. And when they came out with the orange box for the Xbox 360, I was really excited because then I was able to get my hands on Half-Life. And that was originally why I wanted the orange box, was for Half-Life 2. Because I had heard so many good things about it on the PC, and since I didn't have a good PC to play PC games for the longest time, that was sort of my gateway to Half-Life 2. But then, Portal was tagged alongside the Half-Life games, so that's how I discovered Portal. So you can play it on everything basically. You can play it on 360. I think they also have the orange box for the PS3, I believe. So you can also get it on there. So you can also download Portal for the PS3. I'm sure it's on the PSN store. And but you can get them on Steam and PC for super cheap. I think we just missed the Steam summer sale, but I think every time the Steam summer sale comes along, it's like 99 cents. I actually did buy this. I bought this from a friend of mine. I bought it for Shuey. I bought Portal and Portal 2 for him on Steam because he said he had never played the games, and I think
shame.
like Portal and Portal 2 are games that you have to have played in your lifetime as a video gamer. I think they are absolute must. It's like those movies. It's like watching The Godfather. Like you have to have seen it or say you saw it.
Okay, but Owen, wait to see that one.
Yeah, and not yet.
I'm like, I feel like guilty that he's gonna
ask your dad, Owen. Ask your dad. He'll probably watch it with you.
Yeah.
He was like, I've been waiting for this day for you to ask me to watch Godfather with me. Oh wait, no, I'm getting confused with my own portals. I'm backtracking.
Oh no.
But you also said at one point you got a decked out gaming PC, and that's how you started getting into The Sims, right?
Yeah, I originally got it so that I could play PC games. And it was one of the whole pitch was, you can play Diablo, which I'm probably dating myself, right?
That was probably 20 years ago.
Shut up.
Diablo 1?
No, it was
Diablo 2?
It was the one later.
Diablo 2.
It was the
one everyone played.
It was the one later.
Yeah. Diablo 2.
The one that makes me 20.
15 years ago.
But yeah, it was one of those things where they were like, "Oh, you can play Diablo on this," and I was like, "I don't know what that is. That sounds fun." And it was the only reason.
Oh, so they pitched the PC that it was a top level PC. That's how they pitched it.
No, but they built it. They built it from scratch, and it was it had that panel. It had the case lit up. It had these. It was swanky for 15 years ago now.
Yeah.
But it was because my dad was guilty because he wasn't around.
It was a guilt purchase.
It was a guilt
gift.
My dad was like, I wasn't around for your childhood. I guess I'll buy you a fancy computer. And I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Not? Well, that sounds great.
Might as well. I think we all have been given guilt.
We've been given
gifts.
guilt gifts from time to time. Hopefully we never get our
That's
kids
alright.
a guilt gift.
Oh man, it's gonna
Sorry I
happen.
was a crummy parent.
Sorry I yelled at you in front of your boyfriend. Here's a... And he broke up with you because of that. Here's a
Here's a really fancy
PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 5.
Oh man. Oh wait, no, I came through this way. Ooh, this is the part of the game that gets really confusing. No Mercy fan says he's never seen this game before. The gameplay looks like fun. It's very intellectual. I can tell off the bat. Yeah, I mean, this was way ahead of its time. Nowadays, puzzles, first-person puzzle games are kind of a novelty. And there's a lot of really cool, really like mind-trippy ones out there. That even kind of put the Portal mechanics to sort of like...
barely though.
Yeah, barely, yeah. But what sets Portal still apart from all those games is the story and the lore that surrounds it.
Yeah.
That I still to this day don't think has really been topped. And I think I gotta go through there.
You should definitely play the first one to
Play
learn
the
the
first
mechanics. And then just enjoy the crap out of it. Because also the second one features... Wheatley, who is voiced by
From
Stephen Merchant.
Stephen Merchant, yeah.
Stephen Merchant, which if you're into British comedy at all, like I am, you know that name. He is very, very funny, and he is just one of the best things in that video game. Yeah, but I would say play Portal 1, learn the mechanics, and then just enjoy the crap out of the second one.
Because it's something we talked about earlier, where Portal 1 is very much teaching you how to play a game.
Yeah.
And it has a little bit
specifically this game. Yeah.
And it has a little bit of story stuff sprinkled in, whereas...
But enough to keep you intrigued where you're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Which I enjoy.
Whereas Portal 2 goes all in.
Yeah.
With the story.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's a wild ride.
Oh, it's
Hold
so
on
good.
to your undies. It's so good.
So good. Here we go. This is it. This is where I need to be. Yeah, here we go. And then we're getting the little... So, someone's gotten this far as we got the little... At this point, do we think it's still that person that's helping us? Or do we think we've gotten this far before?
It could be a previous shell.
Maybe.
But also, we don't want to say that it is, because we don't want to give anything away in case you want to go and...
You want to experience the journey.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
I'm very big about not spoiling stuff for people. I want people to just... That's my biggest... I feel like I really got out of watching television and watching a lot of... Because I felt like so many things got spoiled for me that I really just like... And I'm not one of those people that's always trying to figure it out, right? We were talking about that briefly with my sister. My sister and Be Better Gamer are very similar in that they'll watch a movie and they're like, that person's the killer. This is going on, and they're trying to figure out, what's going on. And for me, I don't like that, because I like to just enjoy. I just like enjoying the journey and just like enjoying like, oh my god, this is happening, and it's not that I can't figure it out. I can, but to me, it takes the fun out of it, of just enjoying the experience,
Yeah.
So I don't like to ruin
Impact
that.
is not the same when
you know the twist.
Yeah,
like, for example, if you watch Sixth Sense and you know the twist at the end of that movie,
it just becomes another movie.
You're looking for the clues along the way versus just enjoying the journey.
And then you're like, how did no one see this coming? It's like, shut up. You wouldn't have seen it coming either.
if someone hadn't told you,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, exactly. So that's how I feel. Like, I feel like enjoy it.
Yeah. I've had a lot of movies. So No Mercy fan says the Inside Let's Play YouTube played was intense and very much a puzzle game too. I watched that Let's Play series super late at night and it really tripped
It's such
me
a
out.
good movie.
Inside.
I say movie because we talked about movies a lot during that Let's Play because
Okay, the test
it
is
was...
over now. You win.
And I mean,
Go back to the reviver
That's a movie we gotta
for
cast.
your take.
Yes.
Casting
Yes.
call.
So
And we're all impressed.
going back to what you were saying, but also going back to like what we were talking about earlier about you saying that you don't like when people play for the first time. Inside was definitely one of those games that we were both freaking out. Like, we were playing the game.
Forced ourselves to stay up to finish it.
Yeah, and we were literally like... I remember just turning around to Jose a bunch of times and being like, I don't understand what's going on, but I am in this journey with you till the end. Like, it's one of those things, like, when you see the trailer for Death Stranding,
Ooh, yeah.
If you ever watched the trailer for Death Stranding, it's that wonderful feeling of, what's happening? And then you're just like, I don't care because I'm enjoying this so much. That's how I feel about Inside, where when we were playing it, that was the feeling that we got. And we love having that feeling where you love to still be surprised, because I feel like everything is so formulaic, and all the movies that are coming out are all based on a TV series from the 80s, and it's something that you've seen before, and it's just a remake of this and a remake of that.
Yeah.
And there's a time and a place for that. But when everything is that, then there's nothing original, right?
Yeah.
And so when a game like Inside comes out,
Oh, super original.
you're just like freaking out, because you're just like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
It's a great place to be.
Yeah.
It's a great place to be.
So yeah, Inside is definitely one of those,
Yeah.
and definitely not ideal to watch late at night, because
No.
it is
And
definitely.
we played it late at night too.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, when we finished that game, I remember you were like upset. Be Better Gamer was upset because he needed to unpack it.
Oh, it hit me hard.
It hit him so hard that he was like, I'm upset. Like, I don't understand what just happened. So I without giving anything away.
No, but he saw it.
No, I know, but just in
Oh,
case I
yeah,
don't
I
want to
don't
ruin it for
wanna
anyone
say-
else.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? I'm trying to be mindful of that. But yeah, the twist at the end of that one is just like,
Punches you in the soul.
it punches you so hard, and you're just like, and I remember you were so upset about it, and then like you slept on it,
I had to think about it.
and we like finished late at night too. We finished super late at night.
We did it in 2 sittings.
Yeah.
Because we did it the first night, and and then we did it the first night, and then we were like, no, let's go to bed now, and we'll continue tomorrow. And then the next night, where it came time to go to bed again, we were like, no, we're pushing through.
We're doing this. We're finishing.
But it's
this
not a
story.
long game.
It's not a long game.
It was like first time through. It
But
was
the
like
thing is, it's so
3
impactful.
hours.
You just don't forget it. You don't forget it. It packs such a punch, and it's so good. Highly recommend that one. We've talked about like a bunch of stuff. Like, we're not even focused on the game. We're just talking about movies and video games that we love.
But no, but see, that's the thing.
That's
it's
the
like,
thing about a shared experience.
It's a shared experience. This is what happens when you do when you have a shared experience, because I feel like games, it's sort of like watching movies. You watch one movie and then you're like, you think of this movie, then you remember the movie that this actor was in. It's the same thing with games. We're not going to always just be talking about Portal, because this is going to bring up so many things about how we feel when we watch it. What comes up in our mind, and that's what I love about the co-op experience. That's what I love about playing games with other people. Even if it is just a single player game, you have like a wave of different emotions and different memory recalls that influence how you play the game, how you feel about the game. And this is what we were talking about before, how like, oh no,
Is there a Pida?
there's a moth.
Okay.
And how like no one ever plays the same game. You know, no one ever plays the same game. We're playing the same game, but we're not playing it the same, because we're all bringing to it different experiences, different shared experiences, different types of games we've played. I've played a lot of first-person shooters. You haven't. So, you know, it's like even
It's not my bag.
even what kind of games you've played shapes how you play a game. And when you're sitting next to someone that has an entirely different sort of upbringing, if you will, or history with games, that bounces off and that creates. So yeah, that is the co-op connection at its truest form. Is just exploring that and you know, discussing that. The little girl with the dark hair swimming on the water after you freaked me out so much I had nightmares. Did you have nightmares after playing Inside?
I didn't, which is
Surprising?
for me, because I tend to have very, what's the word I'm looking, filmic dreams. Yeah, when I have like dreams that I remember, they tend to be dreams, like I dream in film stock. Like, it's very visual, it's very colorful. I can remember exactly, like it's really weird. So like it seems like Inside would have been like the perfect movie to like have a nightmare too. So congratulations for that. I feel like I would have been like scared, but also like that was pretty cool. And we also like, we're trying to figure out to find like a cool Halloween costume that our oldest daughter can be the little girl.
Oh, yeah,
which
right?
which is difficult to do because, you know, she's, you know, nude.
You get like a bodysuit.
Yeah, something like that. We want to do something because she is a swimmer actually, and she does like swim, and she's gonna be on like a racing team and stuff like that. So we just thought she'd be so perfect for it, but like, yeah, it's hard to figure that stuff out. But it is such an iconic look
Oh yeah.
for.
And that's the thing too that I love about that game is that, you know, again, like Portal, like Inside, they're able to create these iconic images and characters that stick with you. The fact that they just put hearts on a cube
Yeah.
and it becomes such a symbol.
You're like, I have to protect this like a child.
Exactly. You know, Inside, you know, the little girl with the hair, it becomes iconic instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly. As soon as you see
They
it.
did that really well with Inside. I feel like they did that really well. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool when you see that done correctly. And it's design. It's art, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing is people don't realize that they have it in them to be creative. And if only more people realize that they had it in them to be creative and that creativity isn't necessarily making a painting or, you know, it could be designing a video game. It could be, you know, yeah, it could be any number of things.
There's a developer who's co-developing a video game with his 8-year-old daughter, where she's basically like coming up with all the characters and she's drawing the bosses and he figures out how to put them in the game. And yeah, there's a Kickstarter for it and everything and it got passed.
So much.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
We probably
God.
could.
So this is totally random, but it just reminded me because of the moth that I thought was a spider. So I thought about this video game. This is literally like there's no concept here. Just one day I was joking
is this
around.
a spider game.
So one day I was like, I said something like Spidos, and I said, oh my god, we can make a video game called Spiders. Right?
Your whole premise on the game was just to get to the sequel.
Was just to get to the sequel. And then I said one day I was like, okay, and then the sequel we'll call it Spidos. I was like, we're gonna call it Spidos because dos means two in Spanish, and I was like, and it's gonna be about their children, right? Because it's gonna be about a baby trying to maneuver the spiders in the second game because babies would say Pidos. That was literally my
she
concept.
loves this idea.
That was literally my concept. So clearly I should be a game developer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Based solely on that, I should design video games.
You could do it.
I feel like I would be good at it though. All joking, all Pidos aside.
I think I could make a few. I have a few good video game ideas in my.
A few left. Knocking around in there.
Yeah. I just can't code. I can't draw.
Can't draw.
I don't have a team.
Nope.
I can't compose
now
music.
You have a daughter that draws, and
right.
that guy has a daughter that draws.
And then I'm gonna make my kids learn how to code, and they're gonna make my dream video games.
That's what it is. You just have to commission out the work.
Yep. Live vicariously through your kids.
Yeah.
Speaking of video games and movies, why hasn't somebody made a Metal Gear Solid movie yet? That would be so epic if it was done well. Just base it off the original for PS1 and it's solid gold. You know? I mean, and Hideo Kojima, I think, would have to be the director for it. I mean, he basically makes movies with his games.
He's BFFs with Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah,
the Guillermo del Toro could just do it for him.
He could.
Why? Yeah. Why hasn't that happened yet? Can we talk about
Hollywood doesn't get it. They don't.
No,
they don't. They don't
They
understand
don't.
video games. They don't
They
understand.
would watch it. They would probably see the video game and be like, "This is super weird," and then we'd be like, "Yeah, that's why you should make it."
That's why you should make it. He's called Revolver Ocelot.
I know, Revolver Ocelot.
Great name.
Still to this day, one of the best names. Yeah.
I was playing Metal Gear Solid 5 and DrunkenHomemaker happened to come into the room while I was playing it. And I loved her banter while I was playing it so much that I really do want to sit you down and have you play, because I think you know that the Metal Gear series is absurd, but I don't think you know how absurd it is.
I don't think it is because I was watching just a few.
You were watching the intro, the prologue.
It was the intro, and I was just like, "What is even happening?" And then you were trying to explain it to me, and I was like, "I give up. Like, I don't understand what's going on." So yeah.
I think we got to do it. I think
he should be the director. Hideo should be the director.
Or Guillermo. Just imagine all the bosses and Raven in the tank going crazy. It'd be a great movie. It'd be a great movie. That's a movie that we could also do casting call for, I think.
Yes. Were you? I don't know if he was there when we were explaining
No Mercy
that.
fan. We were talking about casting call. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, let us know.
And the ninja and Otacon with the cloak device. Oh yeah, it's a layup.
definitely.
It's a layup. That is a movie that I don't know.
Sports terminology.
Yeah, it's a sports term.
I don't sports.
Neither do I. But
the other day, Steve was talking about soccer, but he used a hockey term that he was like, "Oh, I missed the shootout," and I was just like, "There was a shootout in your neighborhood? What's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I used a hockey term." I was like, I didn't even know that a shootout was like a sports
term,
thing.
yeah.
So yeah,
Where do I have
sports term.
Where do I have to go? Oh, I always forget this part.
Yeah, we want to do a series on Be Better Gamer's second YouTube channel.
Be Better Gamer proper.
Yes, proper. That's what I'm gonna do every time you mention it. Yeah.
That's gonna be my
It's gonna
my
be a
closing.
monocle. There's gonna be on
Proper.
proper. Proper is gonna have a monocle on the O. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So for the second channel, we were thinking of doing a series called. I keep wanting to say Casting Couch.
Don't say that.
I know. I'm sorry. Say that again. Say what it is again.
Casting call.
Video game
casting call.
We want to do a series called Video Game Casting Call, where we basically, on our own, come up with a cast and creative team for video games, and then we get into a room and discuss it and talk about our picks, talk about our direction and stuff like that. And I mean, like, really, like, you know, like I said, we're both originally film majors at heart, right? So, like, we're going to take it very serious and try to do it justice. But I'm really excited because actually one of the first ones we want to start with is Portal.
Yeah, that's the first one we're going to do, I think.
And I'm really excited because just now when we were talking about it, I came up with the perfect person for the protagonist in Portal, which I'm really excited about.
And have you, like, you know, now that we are playing through it again, it's been a very long time since you've seen Portal 1 in action. Has it also been spurring some more different ideas of the direction you would take the movie? Because now you're seeing you're seeing it in full, or is it still?
I want to see the second one. I want to play through the second one, and I think the second one is going to inspire a lot of stuff.
Okay.
I think it's gonna, yeah. But I have a question. For that series, do we want to like do more than one pick?
What do you mean?
Like, for example, if we have like 2 or 3 of the top. You know, because, you know, sometimes you pick an actor.
And they might say no.
They might say no. They might say no, you know?
We could have a backup pick. One backup. I feel like. Well, yeah, because I feel like if we keep going deep, it's just like, and then we don't want to.
Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, then you're basically saying everyone. You're
Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, one backup pick.
Angelina Jolie. And also, like, we wanna be interesting with our picks.
Yeah.
So yeah, two is the tops.
2 picks each.
2 picks each.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Because, you know, we're going to do some games that have a lot of characters. So if we have, like, 4 picks.
And it doesn't have to be for each one. It could just be, like.
For the main ones.
Yeah. So
How about this? How about, instead of it just, like, it has to be 2 picks, how about if you are torn, you have the option
I like
of saying 1 or 2 picks.
Okay, I like that. If it's like, I think this person would be great for this, but I also think this person would be, which, you know, it's kind of happening with Portal. The wheels are turning a little bit. But that's why I asked about if we can do more than one pick.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited about that series. I think we should start shooting it.
I think we should. I think we should start shooting.
I think we should start with Portal. But I want to play through Portal 2 first.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely do Portal 2 first.
Okay.
And, you know, Portal 2 would be a multiple stream. We wouldn't be able to do Portal 2 in one sitting. Because it's got a lot of story. The puzzles are more intricate and involved. And even this one, again, I've played this one a bunch of times, but I don't remember how to do all the puzzles, as we can tell, as I'm still trying to figure out stuff. I got stuck there. And I'm still dying. My no death run.
I know.
It's
you
over.
really
messed
kind
it
of
up.
That.
So yeah, Portal 2 would be I think Portal 2 would be a two streamer?
Two streamer?
Yeah, 2 streamer.
I'm like hyper aware of how how my shoulders have the tendency to do this.
Oh, I try not to look at myself because I know I have crappy posture. And every time I look at myself, I always want to like, oh, you gotta sit up straight.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, it's kind of like reminding me to check in and be
Yeah.
like, hey, Rosa, please stop.
Ooh, I remember this one.
Oh, okay, here we go. Who
Would you have to be the actor that plays Solid and Liquid Snake if it were on casting call? So, back in the day,
It would have been.
it would have been Kurt Russell.
Yeah, because
That's who it was based on. It was based on, and I loved Escape from New York. The sequel, Escape from LA, garbage. Escape from New York, it's not that great, but it is.
Ooh, Chef's Kiss.
It is a cult classic.
Level Chef's Kiss.
It's not a chef's kick, but it's like a cult classic.
Old Snake. Yeah.
But yeah, now you would have him play Old Snake because time has passed.
Or you could just CGI.
You can just CGI him, you know, like how they do, and it's all the rage now.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Star Wars had a little bit of that with CGIing people
So
who weren't
weird.
even there
yeah,
anymore.
with oh my god, my brain. Carrie. Right, it was her.
Yeah, Princess Leia.
Oh
yeah,
my god, that was so weird.
and
Except Escape from LA was bad.
Escape from LA was so bad. But Escape from New York, that was the first time I heard retro wave as a kid. Had like the retro wave kind of music.
It wasn't retro wave.
It wasn't
Back
retro
then.
wave. It was just
80s
wave.
music.
It was just 80s
Normal
wave.
80s
Yeah,
music.
it's true. It wasn't retro wave.
Yeah.
But that style of music, that was a movie that I was like Owen. I was like watching it when I probably shouldn't have because I was younger.
Most of the movies you watched when you were a kid.
Yeah.
His parents let him watch anything.
Everything. I watched everything. They didn't care. They weren't watching me.
Who would you pick?
Now I would have to like
I would
I would have to do research.
I
would
have to get back to you on that one.
I would have to see like who
Not what's his name, because I'm so sick and tired of this dude being in everything and he's not that good an actor. The guy who plays a soldier in every single movie.
Hawkeye.
What's his name?
Jeremy Renner? No, not him. See, that's the thing. I feel like
Can we stop casting Jeremy Renner?
I feel like back in the 80s, you had characters like that. You had a Snake Plissken. You had characters who were these stealthy, gritty, rugged men playing these like really rugged, gritty secret agents. Whereas now you look at like, you know, you have what's his name in Casino Royale, James Bond. You know, you have, they're all really beautiful and chiseled. And not saying Kurt Russell isn't handsome. He is. He's a handsome dude.
But in the rugged way.
But yeah, in a very rugged way. And in that movie, he's not glorified to be this handsome guy. He's glorified. He's beat up throughout all of it. He's almost like a Bruce Willis, you know, who is handsome, but then he takes a lot of characters that gets beat up and torn up, and he's rough around the edges. And I don't feel like I see a lot of those action heroes anymore. A lot of the action heroes are like too perfect nowadays.
Yeah, if you could act.
Daniel Craig would be Liquid Snake. Perfect. He could be. He could be Liquid Snake, actually.
Revolver Ocelot.
Ooh, man, the casting on that.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to get back to you on this.
We
gotta do some research.
I would have to like sit and like do a deep dive and really, because it would be more so about like I'd be casting from my heart. Yeah. I'd be casting from my heart
this
as
means
opposed
a
to just
lot
like
to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to just
Metal Gear is one of my favorite video game series, so I would definitely like sit down and really deliberate.
You would deliberate
over the
and then
over the picks.
Like dismissed.
Yeah, it's like stupid idea. Why did I think that?
And I'm gonna like walk in, and it's
smashed.
gonna be that Charlie Day gif, that Charlie Day meme, where he has like all the things on the wall, and there's all this yarn everywhere. Yeah. It's gonna be that.
Because also like I'm just thinking like what's his name? I see him in my mind, but I'm having trouble thinking of his name. He would be a good Liquid Snake too.
Okay, you gotta give me something more than that.
What movie was he in?
Cool story, bro.
See, I'm blanking. I would have to look it up.
You got nothing else?
What's his name?
This is not a good start to
This is not a good
casting
start.
call.
No. It would be just a lot of edits of me just going, oh, what's his name?
Man, I didn't do the research.
You know, what's his name? Because I'm bad with names, man. I forget names of everyone. Uh-oh, don't get crushed. Don't get crushed on the way down.
It's one of his top 10. He has a Metal Gear. I'm sorry, I'm using my contacts. So I'm like, I have a Metal Gear PS1 poster in my game room in my top 10 all-time games. I hope I read that right.
I love the Metal Gear series. I really do. As crazy and bizarre as it is, you know, I love it. I really do.
I feel like I gotta play the game with you so that I can cast it appropriate.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember was there was a version, I think, on the PS2, that I remember going over to my friend's house and he was playing it.
Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah, and then I just remember a bunch of tranquilizers being shot at this woman's face.
Yeah.
He just kept shooting her in the face.
Oh, no.
With tranquilizers.
Oh, no.
You know.
Like Olga? He was shooting
like
Olga?
Like you do.
Don't shoot Olga. She's pregnant when you fight her.
Yeah, she's pregnant. Exactly. Yeah, so it's just one of those. Yeah, my friend wasn't a great person.
Yeah.
He's kind of...
He was a jerk. And I think you would appreciate... Because, again, Metal Gear is bonkers. But I think you would appreciate how much of a film it feels like.
Listen, you don't have to explain to me.
Because that was Kojima's coming out party.
I am here for Death Stranding.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am here for it. I'm ready. My body is ready for Death Stranding whenever in the next decade that it gets released.
That was his coming out party, man. That was him doing what no one else had done in video games, where he's like, I want to make a movie. Yeah. You know, and he nailed it. He nailed it first try, and it only kept getting better. But he's also like bizarre and weird, and he thinks about things in a different way.
He makes his video games like my dreams happen in my head.
Yes.
And I remember like seeing the trailer for Death Stranding and thinking, oh my god, I had a dream that looked like this. And just to think of like somebody sort of just creatively always being able to produce that is amazing.
Yeah.
So I would say absolutely, I'm here for it. I'd be totally down for doing a playthrough of the ones that you think I need to see so that we can do a casting call.
Yeah, I mean, we'll start with Metal Gear 1, because on its own you can cast Metal Gear 1, and then we can build from there, you know, through all of them. But the games are long, you know, they're long games. So you would have to settle in. Even Metal Gear 1 is long. It was funny, I was watching at Games Done Quick. I was watching a playthrough of Metal Gear Twin Snakes on the GameCube, which is a remake of Metal Gear, and the slotted time for it was an hour and a half. Or it was less than that, it was like an hour and 10. And I was like, he's gonna go through this game in an hour and 10? I was like, well, I mean, skipping all the cutscenes, that shaves like 6 hours. Like, because there's a lot of cutscenes, there's a lot of dialogue, even in Metal Gear 1. And this was a PlayStation game at the time. But I remember watching it with Bella, and they were skipping all the cutscenes and going through things. She was like, well, what just happened? I was like, oh, that was a cutscene. Yeah, but what happened in the cutscene? And I'm trying to like quickly explain like a 30-minute cutscene in like 10 seconds before he's up to the next cutscene that he's gonna skip, because it's a speed run.
Of course, they're ridiculous. What's happened during the cutscene?
It's like, so then this ninja shows up and he cuts off the wires and everything explodes, and he cuts off the hand and revolves at Ocelot. So Revolve and Ocelot runs away. Then Snake points the gun at the ninja. And he's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "Ah!" And he freaks out and he disappears. And then you get on the codec, and then you talk with the president, and the president has a heart attack. It's like all
and
these
our
things.
Daughter's just looking at him like, you just made all of that up, didn't you? You're messing with me. You're messing with me. You think you're funny. You made all of that up just now.
Yeah, this is great. I want to do a segment of like trying to speed run, explaining Metal Gear's story.
That would be so funny. And Bella's just sitting there like, this is your favorite video game. Yeah. This is a nonsense game.
Wait till we get to part 3.
Just wait until a whale explodes.
Oh man, part 5. I have a soft spot for part 5 because I feel like part 5 was great, but it still needed to cook in the pot a little bit longer, but because of everything that happened with Kojima
Oh my god, it's so sad.
and Konami. But I mean, we're getting Death Stranding because of it.
I'm excited about Death Stranding, folks. I don't know if that's palpably obvious.
I like how these guns are like sitting like they're in the locker, like hanging out and they're talking.
Just like by the cooler.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh no! Don't get shotted.
Shall we get around them? See.
I love the way they talk. They have like the cutest
Right?
Like it's just
but then
so
they
many-
shoot you.
Yeah, they shoot you like machine gun style.
You know, Valve in their office, they have an actual working turret gun, but it doesn't shoot bullets. And you know who?
Sorry, say that again.
It doesn't shoot bullets.
No, start over.
Valve has an actual working turret gun in their office. It doesn't shoot bullets, but
it's not an actual.
it detects you when you walk by, and it says all the stuff. You know who made it?
Who?
Weta Workshop. The people who, you know, got big because of the Lord of the Rings films. They did all the CGI and stuff for Lord of the Rings.
Really?
Because a lot of people who work at Weta are huge fans of Valve and the Valve games.
Interesting.
So they've made a lot of props for them.
I'm telling you, like this stuff is like.
They've made a lot of movie props for them. And then even back in the day, a few years back, one of the guys from Weta made like a short teaser trailer for Half-Life movie.
Didn't they do one for Portal too?
I think that was a fan film.
That was a fan film,
was a
but that
fan
was a
film.
good
That was a good
fan
one. That was a
film.
good one, yeah.
If you get a chance, watch that fan film. for
No Mercy
Portal.
fan says you need to watch the cutscenes or you're lost. 100% true, but that's what made the game so memorable. That game changed. That was one of the games that changed how I viewed video games.
Nice.
Like that was one of the games when I played it, I was like, this changes everything. This changes everything I know about video games, how I view video games, what to expect from video games. It's incredible. It still holds up, I think. I think it still holds up. Oh my god, I wrecked him. Why was he just here? In this little hat. Oh,
Yeah, I wish I had
up?
a better answer for you for the casting, but I really feel like I'm not as familiar with it as you are. And also, I need to see what the... I hate to say that I need to see what the acting landscape, because, you know, we've been out of the loop with movies, and I think for a good reason.
Yeah.
I feel like probably with good reason, because I just, you know, I hate to be that old person who's like, nah, but... I really do feel like there's so little originality now, and it's also they just keep they keep casting the same
people.
two Joe Schmoes,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, you know, there's other people out there in the world.
Like,
you know,
I don't need to see Emily Blunt. I like her, but does she have to be in every movie? Do they have to keep getting Sam Jackson? Do they have to keep getting Gregory Renner? Do they have to keep getting
Jeremy Renner?
Jeremy Renner? Do they have
Let's get his nonsense actor's name right. Who's
Yeah.
terrible at acting.
It's yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how they keep doing that.
I just want them to take a risk, and that's what I'm gonna try to do with my casting.
Yes.
So I want to give it more than like 5 seconds and be like Kurt Russell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though
Although
Kurt
back in the day he
yeah,
would've been
Kurt Russell would have been amazing. But yeah, I would definitely want to give him a nod because he's Kurt Russell. Like.
We could have him be Colonel Campbell or Master Miller or something.
Yeah, it's Kurt Russell. We gotta put him in there somehow.
I might make him my Colonel Campbell.
Okay.
Just
Don't
as
tell
a-
me that.
just as a
La, la,
nod.
la, la, la,
Said I
la,
might-
la, 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 la.
Here we go. This is the rocket. Introducing new game mechanics.
Oh dang.
Yeah,
okay.
right?
And also, that's like a prototype for like what Wheatley and the others.
Right,
look like,
yeah.
right? Yeah. I didn't realize that until just now.
Yeah, the cores. The cores are something you see a bit in this game, and you see more of it in Portal 2. And it really, again, it goes with that whole thing. It's like they weren't just making GLaDOS. Like, they were making a lot of stuff. And they were trying to see, and all the different AIs have different personalities.
Yes, and especially in the second one, all the cores have different personalities, and especially the malfunctioning cores. Remember, at the end, you sort of not at the end, but like you do meet a lot of the malfunctioning cores, all the corrupted cores.
Yeah.
And they're all like crazy and different, and it's kind of it's just so creative and I just love.
But again,
Valve, go back to making video games.
It's also kind of like, if you think about like the stuff that's happening now with AI, it's like very much ahead of its time in that sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh no.
and the sound it makes is also an asset used over from Half-Life.
Really?
Yeah, Half-Life
So
2.
Cool. Yeah, Half-Life 2
I mean,
is
even
amazing.
when the way you open doors and stuff is pretty much because this is using the same engine. It's the Source engine.
I want to know who your Gordon Ramsay is.
Gordon Ramsay?
Gordon Freeman. I just said Gordon Ramsay.
We're gonna have to do a Half-Life 2
I know,
episode.
we're gonna have to see
do
it.
a
I'm
Half-Life
dying to know because you said that you had chosen it for like 10 years.
I think
or something.
I think he's still the same. He's still the same.
Is it the same person I'm thinking?
Probably.
Okay, damn it.
Probably.
I might have to change.
Or maybe
it.
not. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
Okay.
We'll have to see.
I'm interested. I'm interested.
Crawl up.
I'm intrigued, babe.
Intrigued?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta get him to shoot.
Oh, okay.
I think I have to get him to shoot this somehow. Oh, I
You
know
can
what I
just
got.
do it on the floor, right?
No, here. This is what we do.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Oh wait, no.
Oh no, I get him to. I have to go back to him, and shoot a portal, and then he'll break the window that way.
Okay, cool.
A lot of so there's a little bit of backtracking in this game, which is interesting because you don't see it used a lot. It's only very used sparingly, but very effective. See, so then he breaks this.
Oh wow.
And then I'm able to use the regular cube, regular portal cube. Generic, not a companion cube.
Non-companion
And that's the
cube.
thing, we only get the companion cube once in the game, which is again,
You lost the companion cube or the thing cube. The thing cube.
it's fine. I don't need it. I just needed it to jump up.
Jump up.
So we're getting near the
Is there
end.
a song like that?
We're getting near the end of this game. So what have you like really sort of? What are you taking away from having playing this game? 11 years old. This 11 years old game that you probably haven't seen in action in maybe 8-9 years.
Not as much as I would have liked.
Really?
Yeah, not as much as I would have
Because
liked.
it's very heavy on the puzzling.
It is. It is very heavy on the puzzling, whereas as the second one is just a roller coaster ride of just lore and emotions and just like, what is happening in the best possible way.
Yeah, I do think that Portal 2 eclipses Portal 1.
Yeah.
Which is not to say, and I think what keeps Portal 1 alive is the fact that it's the kind of thing, it's like, well, play Portal 1 before you play Portal 2.
Yeah.
So you can experience how cool these puzzles
Not only
are.
that, but the things that they chose to put in there are just so indicative of, what's the word I'm looking for? These are people who are excited about the work that they're doing.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they put in the cake is a lie. The fact that
Having
they gave,
fun.
they could have very easily made GLaDOS a generic AI
Yeah.
that wasn't sassy, that
Very boring.
didn't and it would have been fine because we would have been like, oh, it's a puzzle game, it's great.
Yeah.
So the fact that they did
The
that,
puzzles would have still been cool.
absolutely, and they didn't. They made a little bit of they put enough in there where it leaves you wanting more, and you just enough so that you could be like, what is this world? Like, what? I want to find out more about this place. And I think that's it's not as, going back in retrospect, I'm like, okay, yeah, this game isn't like as cool as I remember it being and as like world changing as I remember it being, even though it absolutely is.
It was at the time. Yeah, it was.
It absolutely is. I don't want to take anything away from this game. Like I said, female protagonist, female antagonist. Big deal for 2007.
And and the thing is, you can't. Now you can say, oh yeah, Portal 2, because Portal 2 is out. But when Portal 1 came out, there was no Portal 2 yet. We didn't have Portal 2 yet, so they weren't able to top themselves yet. So like, I always have to think about that sometimes too. Like, if a game still kind of holds up, if you just kind of remove the thing that eclipsed it out of the picture.
Right.
Because I think also, I mean, I haven't played The Witness, which was Jonathan Blow, the guy who did Braid. It was his follow-up, and it was a first-person puzzle game. It came out, I think, a year ago, 2 years ago. I haven't played that, But out of like first-person puzzle games, there's been a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of them now, but they're all very much with the mechanics.
Yeah.
They're all very much with trying to make the puzzle solving cool, the exploration cool, what you can do. None of them have seemed to have that emotional impact, that connection that you really get in Portal. The Witness is probably the only one that I've heard of that gets closest.
Yeah.
Which is why I want to play The Witness with you. But
I'd
yeah,
be down.
But yeah, it's the kind of thing where it's like, if you take Portal 2 out of the equation and you still have Portal 1 around, this game still has that mystery in it. That if you haven't played Portal 2, it's going to make you want to seek out Portal 2, and that's when you're really going to get hooked in.
Yes, and that's when you're like, oh yeah, this is...
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm yawning. It's past my bedtime.
It's fine.
I'm usually in bed by 10 because I'm a little old lady. And also because, like, I usually have to work and wake up early. And tomorrow I'll have to wake up early because I know that this little munchkin is going to be barking at Bella at 6 a.m.
Oh, my food!
Yeah, our puppy, he wakes up at like 6 o'clock in the morning and he just barks at our oldest daughter.
I think that's kind of funny that he does that.
He just goes to her room and just barks at her until he gets his food, which is
I think that's great, actually.
Yeah, he's so funny. He's like a really funny, sweet dog. We love him so much.
Watch this.
Huh?
This is my favorite. You can do this.
Sort of.
Look.
Oh, he didn't keep going.
Yeah, sometimes you can get them to keep bouncing.
I'm sorry, I laughed way too hard at that.
But isn't that like, okay, alright. In our lifetime, can't believe we haven't talked about this till now.
What?
In our lifetime,
I'm so excited.
are we gonna see portals?
No. Maybe when we're like 80 and we're like really friggin' old.
It's the Ice 9 thing, though. It's like, why would you create it? The power you would unleash.
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
Because look at this.
If you think about it, like who would be like, what would be the scariest person that could get their hands on this? Like a prisoner?
Anyone who wants to use it for evil.
Yeah.
Anyone who not only wants
That's
to use it for evil, anyone who wants to point it at the sun.
That's the thing is, okay, so here's the thing.
And
I'm gonna
sun.
debunk the moon thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna debunk it. Because even if you're able to shoot a portal directly at the moon,
Mm-hmm.
it would take, cover your ears, people that haven't played this. I'm sorry, but it would take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years to get there.
But this technology is instant. This is like a laser.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it works. You know what I mean? You don't point a laser at the moon and the moon is like, hey, stop lasering me. You know what I mean?
Stop! They
so
say
annoying.
don't point it at the eyes.
That's not good for my eyes. Yeah,
That's true.
For light, even light to travel in space, the
That's true.
stars that we're seeing are from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of
But,
years
you know,
ago.
100 years later, we'd be screwed.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's true. I concur. We would be screwed.
Yeah. It'd be kind of a cool special power to have if you could make portals. Like, think of like Nightcrawler. He could teleport. And what he was really doing was creating a portal. Don't you think there's an extra element, though, right? If you think about this. With portals, every time we're creating a portal, every time I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I'm walking through, and I'm seeing myself.
Oh, it's so weird.
Am I
weird. You're existing in two planes at the same time.
Am I opening up a portal to another dimension?
Or am I creating a clone of myself? Or am I don't know.
You know what I mean?
My brain is too tired.
Do you think that's maybe like how an actual portal would work? Where it's not like we're creating a portal where like, oh, I want to go to LA real quick. And I press this button, it opens this portal LA, and then I just walk through this portal and I get transported there from New York City. Do you think it's like, I'm going to open up this portal and there's like an alternate dimension we found that we could only go through because of portals?
No. I don't want to think about it. No, because it's one of those things where it's just like, yes, that absolutely could exist. It could. It's also terrifying to think about. Because I do think that there are other dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we might be living in the darkest timeline right now.
So here is... I don't think we're in the darkest timeline.
Shout out if you understand that reference.
Community reference?
No, you're supposed to... You're not good at this. I will be taking over Be Better Gamer stream from this point
This
forward.
is the first time in this game, and it's happening at the end, where we get that sense of scale. That in Portal 2 I just love. And to this day, it's one of the best games that do it.
Portal
and
2.
I'm stuck.
Portal 2. Nobody does scale like Portal 2 unless you're talking about Inside, because Inside does do scale.
Inside does scale very well. Inside does scale very. Breath of the Wild does scale very well too.
Never heard of it.
Here we go. This is it.
I think like 15 people just left when I said that.
Breath of the Wild.
They were like, "How dare you?"
Actually, Skyward Sword is the best Zelda.
I felt like Ocarina of Time was highly overrated.
Look at these images that are appearing with the cake and like all this other stuff.
So cool.
But this is GLaDOS in her first form.
So I know that you're saying that like it's a meme and all that, but it's a meme for a reason.
It is, yeah. It's a meme for a reason, yeah.
They set it up very nicely.
Yeah.
Never mind, it's a mystery I'll solve later.
But it was also something that you only really found if you went off the beaten path. It wasn't something that was sort of like...
She's so unhinged here.
Yeah.
My guess is that touching it will just make your life even worse somehow. Where are you taking that thing?
And I
don't want
think
to tell you
some of
your
them
business,
talk.
but if it were me, I'd leave
No, you're
that
thinking
thing
of the
alone.
second one. I feel like in the second
In the
one.
second one,
Do
they
you
talk.
think
I
I'm
thought they
trying to
talked
trick
in
you
this
with
one.
reverse psychology? I mean, seriously now.
So, it's funny too because like we even get a boss fight in a puzzle game, which is like something that you didn't see in puzzle games.
Yeah.
You didn't see boss fights, and although it's a pretty easy boss fight,
Neither one
it's
of
still
us
very
knows what
clever.
one does. Just put it in the corner.
Stop it.
I'll deal with it later.
Stop it.
Ah, I was too late. I was too late.
That thing is probably some kind of
I should have made the
sewage
portal
container.
first.
Go ahead
And then
Should
the-
have made the portal first.
See, look, Easy Allies is going live right now. You know why? Because they're on
Maybe you should
California
marry that
time,
reason
so
you
it's
love
like
it so
it's
much.
9 p.m.
Do
over
you
there.
want to marry it?
You know what I mean?
How does that feel?
I just love when she becomes unhinged.
Have I lied to you? I mean,
That's one of my
kidding
favorite
me.
lines from
Did
this.
you
Have
just
I
set
lied
that
Have
to
I
you?
lied to
science
you?
thing we don't know what it does into an aperture science emergency intelligence incinerator? That has got to be the dumbest thing that. Whoa. Good news. I figured out what that thing you just incinerated did. It was a more
This is
elegant
GLaDOS.
colony installed after I flooded the enrichment center with a deadly neurotoxin to make me stop flooding the enrichment center with a deadly
I love that she's like
So
so
get
long-winded.
comfortable while I warm up the neurotoxin.
Neurotoxin images.
So get comfortable.
I have had some ancillary responsibilities. I can't shut off the turret defenses. Oh well. If you want my advice, you should just lie down in front of a rocket. Trust me.
So now I have to.
And you could, I mean, kudos on the voice acting.
Keep doing whatever it is you think you're
They
doing.
did get a really top-notch voice actress for
Yeah.
this, which is lovely.
And she's prominent in a lot of other video games too.
But she's just my favorite. Like, did you? Like, it was such a great change in the voice.
Yeah. You sense the personality
Yeah.
shift.
Yeah.
It makes you so
And I love that the subtitles sort of said that also, because if you think about it, I think we're so used to like hearing,
Yeah.
and there are
And-
folks that are playing this game that they can't hear. So
Yeah,
like
the
fact that,
subtitle
Yeah.
gets the change, yeah.
the fact that the subtitle was like, you know, it's more polished, it's more relaxed, it's more, you know, it's really cool.
How do I... Hold on. I'm trying to get him to aim straight, and he's messing it up for me. Oh, I just got hit.
It happens sometimes, man. It happens.
You know what it is? I think I'm maybe too off to the side. I gotta be like straight on from him.
So
I was gonna just tell you the same thing.
Yeah? Is that what you're gonna say?
My video game eye is telling me my video game spidey senses were tingling.
I can't shut off the turret defenses.
I can't even imagine doing something like this, like playing a game like this.
Trust me.
Right here, buddy. Right here. Dead on. There we go. Bam!
Nice.
Where'd it go?
Where did what go?
The core. Because the core bounced off.
Oh. Did it?
Yeah. Because you're supposed to put the cores that... Oh, it went all the way up there. I've never seen that before. That's so crazy. Here we go.
Super weird.
See, look. This one talks.
Yeah, it does talk. Okay, interesting. I don't remember that. Yeah, what's wrong with your legs?
That's also something we didn't talk about too. Like, one of the things that you're wearing allows you to jump at any distance and not break your legs. And it's like...
And you can only see it when you're... What's it called?
When you see yourself.
When you see yourself.
Yeah.
When you're portaling.
When you're portaling. And like, yeah, and that's another piece of technology they made. It's like, were they intending to use this to help people, or they were just like, this would be good for our testing?
Right. Right, because that an invention like that could help somebody that couldn't walk or something.
But also, it would give everyone like superpowers in a way.
That's true. See, I'm thinking of the best case scenario.
Yeah.
You're thinking of the worst. Like you're thinking of the most evil.
Where did it go again?
See, I think that says more about you.
Does it?
Than it does about me.
Oh, it went all the way up there.
Are you serious?
And I gotta do this.
Urgh. She's so mean. Because of how likable you are.
He's got the cake recipe.
This is literally, I just literally realized that that's something that I say to you sometimes.
What?
I say, she says, in your personnel file, unlikable. And I usually, sometimes when this, I say it jokingly.
So you're GLaDOS? Is what you're saying?
I am very GLaDOS, like, but I will say sometimes, you know, when you'll make fun of me about something, I'll be like, you know, a bunch of people told me that they didn't like you.
Yeah.
And I just realized, I'm like, oh my god, she
says stuff like that.
So
Yeah,
funny.
it's really funny. You know, people have made the actual portal cake, right?
No.
Yeah, because they've listened to the recipe
That is so funny.
and they've actually
I
made
love
it.
that.
Yeah.
I just love that so much.
I think there's like a whole YouTube channel that makes food from video games.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
You see it, like, that's something I would never think of. That's so cool. People are so creative. Who's gonna make the cake when I'm gone? I always forget how much I love this game until, like, you see this, but this is where
This is where it picks up.
This is where it picks up because you
Right
get
at
to
the
see
end.
her personality.
Yeah.
I don't remember these cores being so difficult to get to.
Me
But
neither,
it kind of
actually.
makes sense. When you think about it.
That's you. That's how dumb you sound. You've been wrong about every single thing you've ever done, including this thing.
This is the angry one.
So wait, does this also happen in the second one too?
In the second one, they reappear, and you gotta put the cores back on her.
Right. Okay, I knew
think
that. I was
that's
like,
what it
wait, I feel like this is from the second one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so angry. Is there a blue one?
Yeah,
Like-
the blue one we did the cake. Which is interesting that that's like a whole core in itself. There we go. That's it. And that's the game.
Oh, is that
And time!
it? Yeah, right?
That's what the speedrunners do. And time!
I'm so excited to experience the
Your entire life has been a mathematical era.
It's been an era.
An era. That's when Brooklyn coming out.
Because Brooklyn's coming. This is an era.
It's
It's
been
the
an
end of an era.
That could also, you know, that's subtext there.
Yeah. Totally. That's That's so cool. Yeah, I always remember this part. Yeah. I always remember this.
Yeah, so the fight with GLaDOS and the end part, and then all the little hidey holes you find, those are
Do you get away?
Huh?
The idea is that
you get dragged away. Yeah. You get dragged away. I think you gotta watch it till after the credits.
Okay, I wanna see that. I wanna see that because I'm very curious for our casting call.
Yeah.
The cake. I love that. This is so brilliant. You see, it's like stuff like this. Like they thought that much ahead of time.
What's up, Tyler Lawson? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. We're actually wrapping up. We're right at the end of Portal. We were playing Portal. This is my wife, DrunkenHomemaker.
My wife.
With my wife. And we were doing co-op connection with Portal.
This is so good. Look at this. I just love this.
I was playing it, but she was watching it.
I like to watch.
And we were talking. We were talking about so many different things tonight. I think
about a lot.
So many different things. Like this is again another one of the most iconic moments. The song that GLaDOS sings, which is great. No Mercy fan says pretty cool ending. I liked it. I think the ending is sort of like the best part in retrospect. Of like, you know, like again with Portal 2 around, this game is hard to stand alone. The way I always look at it,
it stands fine on its own.
It stands fine on its own, but the way I always look at it, I kind of look at them as together.
Yes.
Like this is very much a companion to Portal 2. See what I did there?
I see what you did.
See what I did there?
It's amazing. Yeah, I really like it. I want to see the end because I really do. I'm taking the casting call very serious. We're gonna start doing this, babe. I'm serious.
No, we're gonna do it.
Seriously.
You're so serious. Tyler Lawson says, "Hi, wife. Nice to meet you."
Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Tyler Lawson, longtime follower on my YouTube channel as well for Be Better Gamer. He's been around for a minute, as the kids would say.
A hot minute. Yeah, they say a hot minute. Just so you know. I know because I talk to those kids.
So we have a Portal picture.
We do.
That it's actually, I took a picture of it on my Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram at BeBetterGamer, one of my pictures was of a picture that we have hanging on the wall. The wool.
The later it gets, the more you're Brooklyn.
I get more Brooklyn.
Yeah. Got this painting hanging on the
wall. And the guy who made the painting, right? The guy who drew it.
He's from another era.
He responded to me on Instagram because I tagged him when I posted it, and he said this was like one of his favorite ones to do.
Aww.
But if you notice, around the edge of the painting are the lyrics to this song.
No way!
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's very tiny.
You see, like it's like so cool. I didn't know that.
And then he also said that there's an equal amount of orange portals to blue portals.
Every orange portal has its blue companion portal.
He said this was one of his favorite pictures to make.
Very cool. I love stuff like that. And it's a Fabled Creative.
Creative.
So now he's actually working with his wife.
Him and his wife. Yeah. They work together. They go to game shows and conventions. They sell their art.
So cool.
If you ever see them at Fabled Creative on Instagram, I think they have their own personal shop now. They used to be on Etsy, but now they got their own shop online.
Because Etsy
takes a cut.
They got a little excessive.
And but if you go to my Instagram at BeBetterGamer, you can see a picture of a few of the other Fabled Creative stuff.
Yes, I bought him one year. I'm trying to see if the ending.
So I think the hidden ending. I think you have to do something to trigger a hidden ending. I don't know if you have to play it twice or something, but yeah, all that happens is that you get dragged away.
Well, you know, we've got time.
Speedrun. And now it plays the music, and the title screen changes a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna just like YouTube that.
We'll YouTube the hidden ending.
But yeah, for 1 year I got him 3 pieces of artwork, and then he got them put onto like I don't know what they're called, but they look great.
Yeah, they look great.
And we hung them up.
And we actually wasn't there like a Vine you watched where someone had that in the background? They had the Portal one.
Yes. What was it? Oh my god!
was a Vine. I don't
I think
remember
it was
which
a
one.
Vine. Yeah, I'm a big.
Oh, it was the dude who was like how like a RPG fan gets dressed to go outside, and he was like opening his closet.
Was it that?
And the clothes had like defense 12. Just it's like, you ready to go out? Like, yeah, I'm ready.
Yes. Okay, that's that. Oh my gosh, he's really funny. He's that Vine guy. He does like a lot of different voices. I can't remember what his name is though. I got into Vine after Vine.
Vine
stopped being
closed.
a
Yeah, my
thing.
wife got into Vine when Vine's closed.
When Vine wasn't. When Vine was no longer a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed. It's one of those things where my family makes fun of me because I can basically come up with a Vine for any situation.
Yeah, there's a Vine for that. It's like, we know you went through the whole history of
I
Vines.
know.
It's like she went through the whole archive of Vines
Yes,
in
I
like
did.
2 weeks.
I did.
But that was Portal on Co-op Connection. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm exhausted, but like in a good way.
In a good way,
Yeah.
right? We stayed up late. Owen came back. Owen's
Okay,
back.
Owen,
How you
Owen's
doing,
back.
Owen? Tyler Lawson popped in. So I don't know when the next. I'm bleeding. It was so rough.
Why are you?
Because I was picking at my scab. I shouldn't have been doing that.
You're like Bella. Our daughter gets like nosebleeds like almost every day, and we're just like, "What were you doing?" I was picking my nose.
I was picking at my
She's
scab.
like, well, maybe don't.
I think the next time we see Drunken Homemaker at Co-op Connection, it will be playing Portal 2. Portal Dos? Portos.
If you're watching the rest of the stream, you'll understand that awful joke we just made.
What if they called Portal 2 Portals? Do you think it would have been as popular?
Oh my god, I would have loved that.
If they
by
called
the
it
way.
Portals?
I would have loved that.
And Portals. Or if it was Portal and then you heard the and then like the S appeared.
Yeah.
Like the Portal sound.
My
We
Portal
also got to
sounds
talk
better.
when we do casting call. We also got to talk what our trailers would look like.
Okay, folks, get hype. Get hype right now because we're gonna be doing casting calls.
Yes.
I'm gonna force.
I know.
Be
I've
Better
been a
Gamer.
little dark on Be Better Gamer proper. My wife and I, we have our Inside Let's Play, which took forever for me to put up. But we went through
when
it.
you said I've been a little dark, I was like imagining you going, "Nothing matters.
Nothing matters. This is so pointless.
The world is so empty."
But on Be Better Gamer proper, which you can find a link of in my one of my panels down
Can we
below.
turn on the
Yeah,
sound?
I should hold on.
So loud.
Well, hold on.
Or not.
It doesn't do anything for it.
Maybe game.
Maybe game volume? Yeah. I'm gonna lower game volume because the music is just playing in the background.
And it is crazy loud. Oh, there
Just
you
a
go.
little
Yeah,
bit.
that was it.
Just a little bit. But yeah, check out our Inside Let's Play on Be Better Gamer proper. You can find a link to it in the panel below that says YouTube, because I have one for YouTube and wrestling. Wrestling takes you to my Be Better Gamer. Did it get louder?
It did. GLaDOS.
My Be Better Gamer wrestling channel, and then YouTube takes you to my other YouTube channel, which I haven't really been posting anything since that Let's Play Inside. I've also been behind on Be Better Gamer Wrestling YouTube. It's been a tough transition, I'm not gonna lie. Being now fully with the girls at home since summer, which is why I like Twitch, because Twitch helps me.
Immediate gratification.
It's immediate gratification, but it helps me feel like I am still doing stuff, because I am playing. And I think I'm gonna archive this whole stream, because I thought this whole stream went well. I think I'm gonna archive it on Be Better Gamer
Aw,
proper.
That makes me feel flattered.
Yeah. And I gotta be better about
It's the end of an era.
uploading archives on Be Better Gamer Wrestling as well. But I don't know when the next time we'll do Co-op Connection together, because it might actually be next week. Because I think Ketum, he has some out of town visitor,
And
so
I might actually have something that
Oh,
night.
do you?
I think so.
I might have to just do Co-op Connection by myself. But definitely Portal 2. But we are gonna work on casting call, which is something I wanted to do for my Be Better Gamer proper channel, where we do cast video games into movies just for fun. And who
Because
knows?
it's so much
And maybe
fun.
we'll get picked up.
Yeah,
maybe
totally.
maybe they'll love our ideas, and they're like, maybe you guys should be in charge. And I was like, we should be in charge.
We should, corrupt studio executive. We should be in charge.
Why is he corrupt if he's coming to us?
I don't know. 'Cause I don't think there's such thing as a not corrupt.
That's true.
That's gonna go on your channel because it's so dark.
That's true. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun. I think the one takeaway for me is that as a video game, Portal still holds up as like a first-person puzzle game. It's kind of timeless in that sense. But I think also it makes me, knowing so much about Portal 2, it makes me want to play Portal 2. And I think if you were still playing this game today and you've managed not to play it in the 11 years it's come out, I think you will still have that feeling. I think you will still have that feeling to want to play Portal 2. And Portal 2 is one of my favorite games of all time.
Nice.
I would argue I think it's one of the best games ever made. It's up there. And so I highly recommend it. I'm excited to play Portal 2, especially with you, because of Portal 2, I feel like we didn't talk too much about a lot of the lore and the backstory because there wasn't a lot of opportunities to explore it as it was going on. Because, again, it happens after the fact.
And it also happens mostly at the end.
And it happens mostly at the end with
yeah.
GLaDOS. So I feel like Portal 2 is going to be great because we're going to really do a deep dive into that. But I think it did open up a lot of discussion about AI programming and creating these science experiments. What are their intents? Even that is still very present in this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like we mentioned in the very beginning, the portal gun itself is basically like the Ice 9. Is like, why is this thing even created? Yeah. Why would you make something like this? Right. To what end? Why would you have an AI this powerful running these? And we're living in that time now where AI is becoming a real thing in the sense of like, to what's the end goal? Why do we keep making this AI? Why is it just so that it could read us the weather or time? Like when we hey Google, like, is that it? It's like, no. Like,
is that how you talk on your phone?
Yeah, like, hey Google. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the takeaway I had. I think it's still relevant, especially if it leads you to Portal 2, which is extremely relevant. And yeah, in this day and age, female protagonists, female antagonists. In 2007, they didn't make that much of a big deal because I think you're right. At the time, you couldn't make it a big deal, but I think now stuff like that.
You're just gonna slip it under the radar.
Yeah, but I think now stuff like that really matters. Representation really matters, which is crazy. It's only like 10 years later. Yeah. And that was such a huge problem back then.
A lot can happen.
And a lot can happen in 10 years. So what about you? What were some of your takeaways for this tonight?
I'm excited to do a casting call for this. Mm-hmm. That was my big takeaway. It was really nice to revisit the first game, but it makes me just like super anxious to play the second game. Yeah. I'm just like, no, we could play the second game, It's like, so like with Star Wars, you basically, if someone hasn't seen Star Wars, you want them to watch A New Hope, but you want them to just get to Empire. You're just like, watch New Hope because then we're going to get to Empire Strikes Back. That's how kind of Portal is. Yeah. It's like, it still holds up on its own, but Portal 2 is where it's at. And we're going to recap all the recommendations that we made for movies throughout the stream.
Yes. Intuition, right? What was it called?
The Invitation.
The Invitation.
Which is on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
We also told Owen to check out The Matrix. Just the original.
Saw 1, but ask your parents.
Yeah, ask your parents about Saw 1 because tis gory.
Read Cat's Cradle. Yes. If you haven't read Cat's Cradle.
Moon.
Ooh, that's a definite. You have
to watch Moon. What else do we suggest?
Wasn't there?
You talked about Metal Gear Solid a lot.
Oh yeah, Metal Gear Solid. But in relation to Portal, I feel like there was something you thought of when we were talking about Portal in general. There was but a movie we have to see, Ex Machina.
Yes, Ex Machina. I know that WWE No Mercy fan.
He liked it.
Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see it. I think that's it.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of movies covered in a very
and I'm sure there's so much stuff that deals with this kind of thing. We just don't have the time to see it all.
Yeah, but we did get 2 movies to watch this week, so we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good.
We'll be better about it.
We're gonna be better.
Any last words?
Gamers. That was it. That was
You want to plug your YouTube and Insta?
Go watch my like 2 videos on YouTube.
How can they find you?
I'm DrunkenHomemaker.
On Twitter, you're at
Google me.
You're at DrunkenHomemaker without the E.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's confusing. You should change that. Someone else had.
Yeah,
the
or someone else had the full. Yeah.
You should have emailed them and said.
No,
hey,
I think it's more of a you only have a certain number of characters that you can use. Yeah, yeah. That's what it was.
What about Instagram? Are you full Drunken Homemaker?
No, I think it's Instagram that I'm not full Drunken Homemaker.
No, it's Twitter. You're not, because I had a.
You had to Twitter me.
I had a tweet at you.
Twitter me.
Yeah, I had a tweet at you.
I feel like that's why Drunken Homemaker on Insta is not.
Okay,
yeah.
maybe it is the same. So Drunken Homemaker at Drunken Homemaker on Twitter, Instagram, just without the E at the end, and YouTube, it's the Drunken Homemaker.
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right.
Sweet.
Yeah, Google me.
Google me. Well, that's it for tonight. We're gonna go to bed. It is way past our bedtime.
Yeah, we're so sleepy.
And our dog's gonna wake us up early in the morning to get food.
Bright and early.
But I had a lot of fun. This was cool. Again,
Yeah.
Co-op Connection doesn't have to be games where we both have controllers in our hand. It's that shared experience.
He doesn't let me play video games.
And I feel like it's been a long time since we've sat down. I feel like we played inside, and then we actually sat down to watch Limbo, but we didn't record Limbo. And I think that was the last time we sat down and played a game together like this.
No, but we play Minecraft.
We play Minecraft, but that's different. I'm like talking about like, start to finish. Minecraft is like ongoing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm very, very excited. Oh, awesome.
The Mercy fan said, I enjoyed the stream Monday G1. I'll be there Monday. It's all going to be about the G1. I'm watching the G1 special Sunday because I probably won't be able to watch it live on Saturday. Monday, Virtual Wrestling 2. Tuesday, Impact Wrestling. Wednesday, WWF No Mercy. Thursday, Friday, I think it's slotted right now for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and possibly a co-op stream with Kedem, but that might change depending on his schedule. But if I do a co-op stream with Kedem, we'll be playing Contra 3, The Alien Wars, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, very different, right?
Yeah, very different.
Because we're very much, when I play with Kedem, it's very much, we're beating the games, we're playing the games, whereas me and you is like, so I think what this says about the world, yeah.
It's a little heady.
But I like that. I like the diversity that has,
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching. No Mercy fan Tyler, Owen, anyone else who stopped by today and watched. Thank you for the follows. Super Best Kyle, Assorted MC. You all have a great weekend.
For support.
You bot you. Fitting that I got followed by a bot while playing Portal.
Makes sense.
Do you want to do the closing? Like, because usually when I say, have a good night, as always, keep gaming, always be gaming. When I do wrestling, I say, watch all the wrestling. Do you have a closing that you want to do?
No. I don't know. That's kind of like the running gag on my channel. I have no closing. Like, I have no idea how to close out.
She's Drunken Homemaker. I'm Be Better Gamer. Have a good weekend, everyone. Until next time, always be gaming.
Always.
Thank you.